So I want to make sure we start with Ohio State and end with Ohio State.
I think we ought to be in Ohio State with Todd Beckman. If he would have been in the top 10, he'd be the favorite for the Heisman right now.
We always talk about, you know, the unsung hero of the game, and I think that Jay Lehman is the guy. But I don't think nationally people know who this guy is, and I think we ought to highlight it.
We also need to get to Rashard Mendenhall. He averages like 130 yards a game. I mean, that's the story, and people, I think, will listen like, oh, I've never heard of him. And he's been a critical part of Illinois' success on offense this year.
I don't know. I'd either go Laurinaitis, #1 defense, or #1 offense. Beanie Wells has been running crazy since we had him 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I know one thing, when they take the field, they're the #1 team in the country, hey?
And they are the #1 team in the country. A team not even in the top 10 in the preseason. Now they've won 20 straight games in Big Ten play, a conference record. They've won 18 straight on their home field right here at the Horseshoe. And now the #1 team in the country, perfect 10-0. The Ohio State Buckeyes know that if they can keep their record perfect against the Illini today, they've got the big matchup in Ann Arbor next week, at least for the Rose Bowl, if not for the national championship. You take a look at the standings, there it is, a perfect Ohio State team at 10-0. Can they keep their record perfect? They're hoping so. The Illini are thinking otherwise. We're getting set for Ohio State and Illinois. Big game in the Big Ten. We'll go up to the boys in the booth after I get out of here, and we come back in a minute.
PLP HD TV is an official sponsor of ESPN College Football on ABC HD.
ESPN's presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. It's the Fighting Illini of Illinois 7-3 and #1 Ohio State 10-0 in front of 111,000. As I turn it over to my partners, and we start with Ohio State and Bob Greasy. Bob.
Bradley, when we met with Coach Tressel yesterday, the big question was, Coach, which player has surprised you the most this year? And he said that's a no-brainer, Todd Beckman. This is Beckman's 4th year at Ohio State, making his first start. He's got him at the top of the rankings, #1. You can't do much better than that. He's special. Another guy on that offense to be special is Chris Beanie Wells. He's big, he's strong, and he's fast. Watch those two guys today. Bringing my partner now, Paul McGuire, tell us about that Illinois offense.
Well, first of all, this Illinois offense, they have to not only control the ball, but they have to control the clock. And with this offensive line they can do that. They have outstanding outside receivers. They also have a quarterback, Juice Williams. Not only is he an excellent passer, but he's the second leading rusher on this football team. But the guy that has to have the big day is Rashard Mendenhall. He's the running back. Last week, over 200 yards. He has to do the same thing today if they want to win. And, Bonnie, both of these teams have excellent middle linebackers.
Well, Paulie, I think at this point everybody knows Ohio State's James Laurinaitis is one of the best backers in the country. Put such a licking on Juice Williams last year, he actually knocked him out of the game. Laurinaitis is the Buckeyes' most disciplined tackler, critical when you're playing a spread offense like Illinois'. Now, the man in the middle on the other side is about as fiery as they come. Jay Lehman, born and raised in Champaign. 17 of the last 18 weeks dating back to last season, he led the Big Ten in tackles per game, so this guy is the real deal. Illinois with a chip on its shoulder after nearly upsetting Ohio State last year. Lehman told me last season we hoped we could play with Ohio State. Now we know we can, and we have the chance to show the nation on national TV.
And, Bonnie, now we know that the nation knows that Michigan has lost. Their 8-game winning streak goes by the boards in Madtown, and boy, will there be a 5th quarter in Madison tonight. Jim Tressel has already won a national championship. He's hoping to get a crack at another one. Last year they got there and they got thumped by Florida. It's still very much fresh, I think, in the players' minds, although Coach Tressel has said, we got to put that behind us. We have to worry about Illinois, then we'll worry about Michigan, then we'll worry about the rest. And for Ron Zook, he's done a remarkable job in his 3rd year resurrecting the Illinois program, has them at 7-3. They can get 3rd place in the Big Ten by themselves if they can pull the upset here today and then beat Northwestern next week in the season capper for them in the battle in Illinois. So we get set for the Fighting Illini. They came close last year. Can they win it this year? We welcome those of you that might be watching us on ESPN instead of our ABC affiliates around the Midwest. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, and 111,000 of our closest Buckeye friends, all clad in scarlet and gray, as they hope their team can go to 11-0. And the Illini are the team in their way. 2 hurdles left, boys, and then maybe it's another shot at the national championship. Klomoski's got it teed up as Ohio State won the toss, and they want the football, and that means Ray Small. And we're underway in Columbus. Short kick. Going to be fielded way up at the 13 by Brandon Sane. The good part about the short kick, it was high, and it was excellent coverage. And the Illini stop him short of the 25-yard line. So Todd Beckman, the guy that Bob just talked about, will bring him out. He's not a young guy by any stretch. He gray-shirted, then red-shirted. He's a 23-year-old junior out of St. Henry, Ohio. But he's, as Bob said, been perfect. You can't do any better than 10-0.
Yeah, the numbers are good. 10-0. He's started 10 ball games, and he's won every one. He was the backup for the last couple of years to Troy Smith.
Beanie Wells, the single setback as Ohio State starts with a 2 tight end offense at their own 24-yard line. But it's Beckman to throw on first down, and he wants it all, and he's got a man wide open. Brian Hartline down the sideline. Hartline dragged out of bounds at about the 13. Justin Harrison saved a touchdown, 65 yards on the opening play for the Buckeyes.
You know, on this play here, they're supposed to be help in the secondary by the safety, and the safety never gets over. And I'll tell you, Beckman looked over there. He saw Hartline bob, and he said, wait a minute, there's no white shirts around this guy.
Levante Davis, number 1, leaves him. He's supposed to get deep help. And I've said all week, and I've said for the last few weeks, that I think Jim Tressel is the best offensive coordinator around because he gets plays called at the right time, and that certainly was a very good play.
Longest play allowed by the Illini defense this year. And now Wells hitting the backfield, bounces it outside. Beanie, touchdown! Get the crowd in your corner. 2 plays, 6-0. Wow. Well, Bob, you talked about 2 guys that were special. I think they were special on that drive.
I said Beckman and Beanie Wells were special, and they didn't take long to show you why.
76 yards in 2 plays. Extra point by Pretorius is good. Shocked Illinois defense. An ecstatic crowd at the Horseshoe. It took all of 23 seconds. We gave you the Michigan final as Wisconsin down the Wolverines. I don't know if Ohio State knows it, but they're playing like they want to be unbeaten when it's all said and done. 7-0 Bucks. Bob calls the guy on the left the best play caller in college football, yeah. Jim Tressel. Yeah. Ron Zook, a defensive coordinator at heart and head coach, and you can see him shaking his head going 23 seconds, and we're down 7-0. Lightning striking for Ohio State in the opening moments. If you just joined us, a 65-yard Todd Beckman to Brian Hartline pass play got him to the 11, and Chris Wells for the 11th time this year did the rest. His 11th rushing touchdown.
I think Coach Tressel, when he told us yesterday that all you have to do is look at the Illinois on the screen, you don't take them lightly.
Right.
Well, they must have found out something right off the bat on the first play because they used it and got the ball downfield.
Well, the thing about Ohio State is they can get you one way or the other. They're averaging over 200 yards a game rushing and 215 yards passing, so pick your poison.
Yeah, and then they're the #1 defense in the country, both in yardage and in scoring defense, less than 10 a game. Remember, they don't give up many touchdowns. 7 offensive touchdowns is all they've allowed this year, and as you saw on that graphic, they like to score on the opening drive, and they just did again.
The defense has given up 7 all year, but only 2
right here
are here in the Horseshoe.
And that was against Wisconsin last week when they got behind and had to dig themselves out of a hole. Michigan got in a hole today in Madison and couldn't dig out as Wisconsin wins over the Wolverines. Wisconsin and Michigan were considered the top 2 teams, remember, in the preseason in everybody's eyes. And this Buckeye team was considered 3rd best. Now here they are alone on top and trying to stay there and trying to stay perfect. Petria will kick. The wheel is Ben, who's back deep. Levante Davis, who will take this one at the 2. And Davis tripped almost on his own, it appeared, as he got maybe out to the 17-yard line. Let's check in with the guys in the studio.
Back in New York, I'm Matt Weiner, keeping you current on everything happening across the country. First up, this Taco Bell update from Madison. Michigan had gotten within 2 of Wisconsin, but after an interception, it's Zach Brown once, Zach Brown twice. The 3rd running back they've used today, career-high 108 yards, a couple of touchdowns. The Wolverines' first Big Ten loss means their only chance of reaching Pasadena is beating the Buckeyes.
That one next week in Ann Arbor. Right now, it's the Buckeyes facing Illinois' offense for the first time, and Juice Williams, play action. Wants to throw off the run and does, and it's incomplete. Got his man in the hands and couldn't hold it. Juice Williams, Isaiah Williams, if you will, a guy who played a lot last year and is better as a thrower again this year than he was a season ago, but also has got great wheels, and Paul talked about him. Out of Chicago, went to the same high school as Dick Butkus. That's his idol. If you're going to have an idol and you're a Illini player, even if you're a quarterback, you might as well take Dick Butkus.
Wait a minute now. If you're a quarterback, you don't want to have Dick Butkus as your idol.
Well, that means he's a tough guy.
Well, he's a tough guy. That's true.
2nd down and 10. This time in the spread. And the counter coming back the other way, wide open field. Daniel Dufresne. Dufresne trying to outrun the angles. Inside the 30, 20, all the way down to the 3-yard line. The ball came out at the end. Ohio State's got it, but I think the ground caused it.
Now, it came out when he hit the ground. The ball's going to be marked at the 3-yard line.
What a run.
What a big play for the Illini.
Well, I tell you, they had 8 men up in the box, and they're waiting on Mendenhall to run the ball, so they give the ball to Dufresne. Watch the hole in the middle, and watch what happens. Once Dufresne hits the secondary, there's nobody there anymore. They're all blocked. They're all at the line of scrimmage. Now it's up to Dufresne to take off and run. Washington is chasing him.
At the end of the play, going down. Oh, maybe it did come out.
They better get this ball snapped quickly.
Better hurry. Juice Williams. Is he going to get the snap? Oh, boy, you don't want a long count here. 1st and goal, and he fumbled it. Found control to the end zone. Touchdown, Illinois. Uamana Munui, touchdown. How about Michael?
Mike. Uh-oh.
Manawanui.
Yeah, that's the tight end everybody we're talking about up here. What a critical play, a big play for the Illini, and then to get the ball snapped, because if there would have been a review, there is no doubt that ball came out and it was a fumble.
Extra point is up and good. Well, guys, we played 1 minute and 12 seconds. Are we having fun yet? Oh, my goodness. Michael. Uh-oh. Mano Wanui from Juice Williams. Touchdown to the tight end in the corner. 7-7 in Columbus. What a start.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. This holiday, we'll help you put together perfect gifts. Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. And the Principal Financial Group. We'll give you an edge.
On the banks of Olentangy, and the big parties going on over there. Folks, if you don't have tickets and you're watching us, you're missing a hell of a game. If you wanted to come late, you already missed about 160 yards of offense.
If they planned on walking over.
That's
huh?
right. That's right. Isaiah Williams capped the 83-yard drive in just 3 plays. 2 plays on the other side. 65-yard pass and an 11-yard touchdown run by Beanie Wells. And here's another kickoff. This one to Ray Small at the 5. And Small out to about the 24, maybe the 25-yard line. So finally we can set the offense for you. We haven't had a chance to breathe. Let's check the Best Buy starting offense for the Ohio State Buckeyes and 2-time Heisman winner Archie Griffin. Arch.
The offensive line at Ohio State has always been strong, even since before I played here. They've done a terrific job of opening up holes for Chris Beanie Wells and protecting Todd Beckman so that he could get the ball downfield to our outstanding receivers.
And they already have done that to Brian Hartline on their first drive. They start again at the 24-yard line. Beanie Wells got a yard or two, and that's about it. And let's check the starting lineup defensively for the Illini, and the guy that anchors it, Jay Lehman.
On the defensive line, we're led by Chris Norwell, a.k.a. Sino. He's from Cincinnati. He's playing in his home state today. To my left, we've got weak side linebacker Antonio Steele, the man of steel. And to my right, strong side linebacker Britt Miller. They call him Britt the Hit. In the secondary, we're led by Kevin Juice Mitchell. We bring the pain in Champaign.
Well, we'll see if they bring any pain in Columbus today. Second down and 8. Beckman completes it. It's going to be very close to a first down. It's Brian Hartline again. He might have it, but I don't think so. Kevin Mitchell, the juice in the secondary, is the guy that made the stop. Well, our X Factor today, presented by Citi. We sat around, came up with this yesterday. I don't know that we knew it was going to be like this, but big plays will win the day. We've had several huge ones already.
Now, some of those folks out there may think we just came up with that.
No, we did that yesterday.
Yeah.
Third down, less than a yard. Beckman at 6'6" and 245 takes it for the first down at the 35-yard line.
You know what, when you look at these two teams, they really both, Bob, have to calm down. The coaches have to say, oh, calm down. All right, the score is 7-7. We got a new ball game we're starting right now, and let's get on with it.
It's kind of what we're doing, as a matter of fact. I ran off the field, ran into Joe Laurinaitis. I body slammed him and found my way to the elevator to get up here with you guys. So I'm still catching up.
I can assure you, you didn't body slam him.
First down at the 35. Wells, this time they wrap him up nicely. No gain on the play as we check in with Bonnie.
No surprise, Brad. Ohio State's defense, a lot of shoulder shrugging and finger pointing, trying to figure out how Dufresne broke away on that huge run on Illinois' first play. Keep in mind, that is only the 8th offensive touchdown the Buckeyes have given up all season. They didn't give up one here at the shoe until last week against Wisconsin. And Vernon Golston was telling me, if we let a guy in the end zone, it's like the sky is falling because the expectations for our defense have become so high.
Well, big problem with their offense maybe is Beanie Wells just came off holding his right wrist or thumb, and Maurice Wells comes in to take his spot. Beckman and in trouble on a crossing pattern. He got rid of the ball somehow as he was being swarmed under, and he got it to Brian Robisky for about a 3-yard gain. Haven't even had a chance to do the game plan, fellas.
Well, we're going to do the game plan right now. Here it is. The big three must step up, and that's Illinois. We're talking about the wide receiver Bean, the quarterback Williams, and the running back who is Mendenhall. They all have to.
And for Ohio State, Michigan can wait. Take care of business here today. Michigan lost. We're going to go up and play them next week, but take care of this team right here, right now.
Brandon Sain in as a 5th receiver, basically, and the shotgun is Beckman on 3rd and 7. Todd sidesteps the pressure. Now he's going to run with it. He's got a first down and a bunch more. Beckman down the sideline showing great wheels for a big guy inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
He just seems to be able to do it all. He has not thrown many interceptions. He's thrown a lot of big plays, a lot of touchdowns. He takes care of the ball. He's very calm. He's very smart. Everybody's covered. Take a look at this. Everybody's covered. There's no containment on our left side over there, so he just runs out, gets what he can, and gets out of bounds.
A career long, as a matter of fact, 23-yard run to the 39. Play action. Beckman might want it all. In trouble. Again, he got the crossing pattern on the fly. It's a big tight end, Ballard. And Ballard's got it down to the 17-yard line.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what, this guy can sit there. I mean, you talk about a guy with some patience. Beckman just stood back there, and he waited and waited, and finally Ballard got open. But he's going to take a hit. That's okay, as long as I can get it. Watch this guy look downfield. Play action pass. Now watch. And then he says, wait a minute, let me get outside, but I do see Ballard coming across. First down. That's beautiful.
Second time he got rid of it with guys draped all over him. First down at the Illinois 17-yard line. 4 wide-out group, but it's going to be a draw play to Mo Wells. Maurice Wells trying to cut it outside, and he's going to be dropped for a loss by Justin Sanders. Loss of about 2. Everybody in the Big Ten is done today except the game we have at hand. Wisconsin over Michigan. Northwestern beat Indiana by 3. High-scoring Michigan State win over Purdue. And Penn State shut out Temple while Iowa beat Minnesota. So here's how they look updated. Illinois can move in to 3rd place all by its lonesome right now. With Michigan's loss, Ohio State, it didn't matter what Michigan did with Wisconsin. Next week they play in Ann Arbor for at least a trip to the Rose Bowl. If they can win that one and win this one, it's a trip to New Orleans for the national championship. 2nd down, 12. Toss sweep to Wells. Mo Wells inside the 10. He's gone. Touchdown, Ohio State. Runs dry, try another one.
You know what? And when you look at this thing, I'm telling you, look at the hole on the right-hand side. It is unbelievable. And they not only block guys, but they put them on the ground. Watch this.
That's the center and the right guard, Cordell and Person, both pulling for Wells.
Pretorius extra point is good. We've only played 5 minutes and change, and we've got 3 touchdowns. For Mo Wells, his 3rd of the year. In for Beanie Wells, who went out holding his wrist or his thumb. One Wells, then the other. Then Ohio State leads again by 7. They continue to work on Beanie Wells' right thumb or wrist, retaping it. Meanwhile, Maurice Wells, you can't see Mo's name on his jersey because of his hair there, but that's him. And he just scored to cap off a 76-yard drive again.
They may have the same last name, but there is a lot of difference in those 2 guys. About 40 pounds. Chris Wells is about 235 pounds, and Maurice Wells is about 195. So one of them brings a big load. The other one is a guy you got to look for.
The kickoff goes to the 7. Aurelius Ben, great speed, look out. And he gets out to the 31-yard line. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John, what do you got?
Brad, well, I've got the Sports Center Minute powered by Vizio. Also got Wisconsin knocking off Michigan. Zach Brown from 2 yards out here. The Wolverines' 8-game winning streak has come to an end, and Mississippi State has beaten Alabama. John Parker Wilson picked off by Anthony Johnson, returns at 100 yards for the touchdown. Alabama, or rather Mississippi State, is now bowl eligible.
Wow, what a job Coach Kroom has done keeping that team together.
Yeah, you got that right.
1st down, Illinois at the 32-yard line. In the spread, here's the option. And the pitch to Mendenhall. And everybody waiting for him. Coleman led the charge. And then Laurinaitis came up to help clean up. Let's check the Best Buy starting lineups for Illinois and former quarterback Kurt Kittner. Kurt?
On offense, it starts up front with the offensive line anchored by Martin O'Donnell. At receiver, you have to watch out for Aurelius Ben. And in the backfield, you got to watch out for big play threats, Isaiah Juice Williams and Rashard Mendenhall.
Well, the pass completed on to Kyle Hudson. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Illinois goes without the huddle. At times it can be hurry up. Sometimes it's just to keep the same guys on the field in the scarlet and gray. 4 wideouts on 3rd down. Williams has time, runs out of time, and down he goes. Larry Grant, the linebacker.
You know what I really like, and we've been seeing things all year. When it's 3rd down and long, 4 or 5, you see teams go with a 3-man rush and let a quarterback stand back there. That time Ohio State doesn't. Watch these guys come. Now from the outside, that's Larry Grant, number 6, is making a tackle. But the inside forced him, Williams, up into the pocket.
Santella to punt. Hartline waits under it at the 25, and he is dropped in his tracks. Nice coverage down there by the special teams, and Britt, the hit, and Miller, the linebacker, made the stop. So Ohio State, if you're just joining us, has scored on both of its possessions. First, in the opening 23 seconds, they went 76 yards in 2 plays. Beanie Wells for a touchdown. Then they went 76 yards in 9 plays. The key plays, you say? How about the opening snap? Hartline, 65 yards from Beckman, and then Beanie did the rest. Then it was Dufresne on his way for 80 yards to the 3, the tight end for the touchdown, and then Maurice Wells moments ago, 19 yards for the score. It is 14-7 Buckeyes. Beanie's back in there now, crossing route, Hartline, perfect strike from Beckman, The ball came out at the end, but it's going to be completed to the 40-yard line.
Let me tell you what, you got this much time to throw the ball, even Greasy could still throw it.
Well, they're liking the crossing routes. Right in here. If they don't throw it down the sideline, they're throwing it across the field. Good protection. That offensive line, probably the most underrated because it's one of the best.
Beckman's 5 for 5. Here's Wells. Wraps both arms around the football. And I think just with that carry, guys, you can see that he's favoring his right hand because he put both hands around that as if to say, I'm going to get hit there, and I don't want to drop this thing.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Bonnie.
Trainers told me that Beanie jammed his thumb, and they put such a heavy tape job on it that when they tried to put the glove back over his hands, he's got one of those tacky gloves that helps him grip the ball. They could barely get it over. 2 people had to slip it over, and then they taped the thumb again over the glove, and basically they just want to limit that mobility as much as possible so he doesn't hurt it further.
Right now he's telling him, hey, I can't do this. You got to take some of this tape off.
Ballard, the tight end, comes back in. Beckman's all alone in the backfield. The quick slant. Oh, and the ball out. Incomplete. Had his hands on it, Rubisky, and couldn't hold it. Well, with a win at Texas, Jimmy Johnson now is in the lead over Jeff Gordon in the chase. Now just 2 races to go. Johnson and Gordon taking their chase to the desert in Phoenix. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series continues 3 o'clock with NASCAR Countdown tomorrow on ABC. Your guys in second place now, Grease.
Jimmy Johnson's won the last couple of them.
That's Bonnie's driver, and she's in the front row.
History is on my man's side. Jeff Gordon, he'll be there at the end. We got 2 to go.
All right. 3rd down and 8. Illini going to bring some pressure this time. Beckman flushed down the sideline. It's intercepted. What a great catch defensively. It's DeRay Hicks.
Boy, DeRay Hicks, you talk about play the ball. Beckman never really gets himself set to throw the ball with any authority. And Hicks is watching him all the way. Just take a look at number 28 is Hicks. Now see him sitting in there. Watch him just drop back. He's walking at the ball. Now he's going to make a play on it. Up in the air, times it perfectly.
His 2nd interception of the season.
You're right, Paul. And Beckman thought he could get it over. He was running to his left, right-handed quarterback. Thought he could get it over his head, but Hicks made a nice play and continued to back up.
Now let's see if the Illini offense can take advantage of it. Williams going to keep it himself. Anderson Russell, the safety, made the stop after a gain of about 2.
You know, you just have the feeling what Ohio State's trying to do with Juice Williams is that they're not going to let him sit. They're not going to let him run down and throw and pitch the ball. What they're doing is they're sending corners, they're sending safeties. We have an injured guy on the field, but they're sending people, not just 3, they're sending 5 and 6.
Take a look at the injured player, and it's Russ Weil, the fullback captain out of Manuka, Illinois, who's down. He was leading the way for Juice Williams on that last run. 6:31 remaining in the quarter. They retape Beanie Wells. And while we wait here, let's check the Ohio State's Best Buy starting defense. And here's Archie Griffin.
Defensively, Vernon Golston leads the front 4 that really gets after the quarterback. At linebacker, James Laurinaitis is one of the best in the nation. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to play against him. And in the secondary, they do a terrific job of defending the run and covering the pass. They are the full package.
Archie acts like he does that every week.
Yeah, he's
pretty smooth.
Yeah, he is smooth. He's worked around the Ohio State for a long time.
And of course, he worked his way to 2 Heisman trophies, the only guy ever to do so, to win 2 of them under Woody Hayes here at Ohio State. 2nd down and 8. Again, the spread of Illinois. And Williams on the option. The pitch. Mendenhall's trapped in the backfield.
Yeah, the graphic we just had up there showed you that Ohio State in the nation are ranked number 1 in total defense and number 1 in scoring defense.
Just watch what they do, Bob, when they go down. And here comes that pitch play. The option coming down. Now watch. The end takes on the quarterback. And look who's out on the outside. It's a corner and a safety that are sitting out. The end lets the quarterback go and helps out on the tackle. They're just not letting him get wide with the play.
They're trying not to waste that interception by Hicks, but now it's 3rd down and 12. Here comes a blitz on Williams. Hangs in and throws, and he got it complete to Hudson, and it's a 1st down.
That's a big-time play right there. They talk about Juice Williams not being a polished passer. He sat in the pocket. He knew he had enough time. He waited. He says, "Come on, get open. I can't wait much longer," and he got him the ball.
On 3rd and 12, they got 14. Now they go back to the ground to Mendenhall, and he got it to the 40-yard line. 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot of fireworks. Ohio State leads at home 14-7, but now the Illini are trying to even things off and take advantage of an interception a couple of minutes ago. Williams, he'll keep it this time on the option, and he might have 10 or 11 more. 1st down, Illinois.
Now see, here's the difference on this play. It didn't happen the other one. Anderson Russell, number 21, is the safety. He gets cut down. The defensive end gets cut down. So when Williams gets to the outside, there's nobody there to stop him.
Illinois barely giving the chain gang enough time to move the sticks. Mendenhall is going backward again. So they've got his number. They know they've got to stop number 5. They haven't been able to stop number 7, though.
The last 3 or 4 plays, Illinois has had a hurry-up offense where they get to the line of scrimmage and immediately snap the ball. They have all kinds of speeds. Sometimes they huddle. Sometimes they take their time at the line of scrimmage. Now they're kind of taking their time.
2nd down and 11. Mendenhall to Juice Williams, right flank, and they're taking their time on this one. Now it's Ben who sets up in the backfield with him. Play action. Williams throws to the end zone. Caught, touchdown! Jacob Willis, 33-yard strike.
Just a great throw. Another great throw by Williams. Single coverage downfield. And a defense that hasn't allowed but 2 touchdowns all year has given up 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter.
Jason Rita in for the point after. 14-14. What a first quarter for both teams. Jacob Willis, his daddy played for the Buckeyes. He's playing for the Illini. Tie game. The shoe is full, and so's our first quarter. 14-14, 11 minutes in. Let's go back to the touchdown, Grease.
Well, here's Ben. Aurelius Ben right here. He had come in motion. Now watch, when the play starts, he's going to go this way, and the safety comes out of the defensive secondary. And that opens it up right here for the receiver to go with the safety. The corner thought safety helped, but because of Ben, the freshman, the outstanding freshman wide receiver that moves around a lot, it pulled the safety out of the middle.
We've had some busy kickers just kicking off. Look at the points allowed all season and today in the first quarter. Ray Small looking for a place to run and can't find one. Again, pretty good coverage down there by the Illini. Let's check in again and get an update. Matt Weiner. Matt.
Brad, here's our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance in Columbia. Number 6, Missouri, struggling to put away Texas A&M when Chase Daniel hits Jeremy Macklin. He was a game-changer all day. 259 all-purpose yards and a pair of scores for the freshman. Check out this season's best Pontiac game-changing performances at ESPN.com. Just search Pontiac, Brad.
All right, so Mizzou is setting up that big one with Kansas, but Kansas will have their hands full tonight on ABC against Oklahoma State. Here's Maurice Wells. Spins right into a tackle, maybe got a yard. Let's take a look at our ESPNU All-State standings. Well, we know who's on top, the team we're watching right now. LSU should have an easy time with Louisiana Tech. Oregon's got the weekend off. We mentioned Kansas and Oklahoma State coming up on ABC tonight. And you see all the rest. Well, in 9 years of the BCS, a team with 1 loss has played in the national championship game 6 times. So you don't have to be unblemished to get there at least.
It looks like it's going to be that way again.
Oh, Maurice Wells. Beckman threw it out there, and Vontae Davis laid the lumber. And I'm glad they're both okay. At least Mo's up. Vontae's not.
Davis, I'll tell you, Vontae Davis never looked at the ball. All he was going to do was lay Wells out.
Now we go to one more look and one more listen. And watch this. Man.
I'll tell you, again, when you look at that replay, Bob, he didn't look at the ball, didn't care about the ball. All he was going to do is lay the receiver out.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if that was helmet to helmet. I couldn't see from the we looked at it from behind. But the NFL has rules where you cannot hit helmet to helmet.
And Vontae trots up.
This is good. This is the defensive guy. He's the one that chose where to hit and how to hit. And he was the one that got slowed a little bit, I'll say.
Vontae, a freshman All-American last year. Just a second-year player. And again, a different angle. And Kapow. Well, he had a shoulder in there. The impact, you can't tell sometimes if it's the shoulder pads that are popping or the helmets that are cracking one another, but you could hear the sound, you could see the impact. Both guys are okay. Maurice Wells stays in the ball game. Vontae's got to come out for at least a play. 3rd and long for Todd Beckman, and he's in trouble in the pocket. Got away and throws incomplete, but Ohio State is going to have to give it up, and they'll punt for the first time today. Well, Florida needs a win to stay alive in the SEC race tonight. They take a tough test when they take on the Arrow ball coach Steve Spurrier and the South Carolina Gamecocks in Columbia. College football primetime, 7:45 Eastern, presented by Hampton Hotels, coming up tonight.
The old ball coach has lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, he ain't that happy.
Yeah, because he'd like to beat Florida. He always would.
Yeah, well, he got it the first time, didn't get it last year, and kind of a rubber match. And he says, you know, that's old news that I was at Florida. It's never old news. It's the ball coach. Trapasso, the punt's a good one. Way back in great coverage. DeJuan Warren, and he got level. So the hitting is picking up. Jamari O'Neal with the hit on that punt. 51-yard kick and no return. Well, it was not only senior day here with the parents and families here, it's also, as we always see, Script, Ohio before the ball game.
You know, Ness, I swear every time I listen to this, I get goosebumps.
Well, I wonder why are they doing this. The double.
Jeremy Fulham and Bradley Elliott. It's a double sousaphone. And they both got the dot from both sides. It's called a mirror image.
You know what McGuire thinks is because a couple weeks ago when we were here, he dotted the I at the wrong end of the I.
That's right. So this time they wrote it both sides so he couldn't mess anything up.
Old news.
Juice Williams deep middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, and he had it and just couldn't hold it. And it was Jeff Cumberland, a big wideout at 6'5", 240 plus. You know, when you dot the I, as Paul did on homecoming 3 weeks ago, you got to know what you're doing when you dot the I. You don't dot the bottom of the I, you dot the top of the I. He says it doesn't matter because it's just a straight line.
He doesn't know what's up anyway.
He doesn't know which end is it. Which.
No, he doesn't know which end is up.
Here's a blitz swing pass, and now there's a pass that was hurried that time, and Aurelius Ben, they still haven't gotten it in his hands. A big play freshman wide receiver.
You know, I know standing here next to Greasy, and I'm looking at him. First of all, you get Cumberland, he drops the ball. Then you get Ben drops the ball, and the quarterback's throwing the ball, hitting him in the hands, or dropping. It drives you crazy.
I mean, you're playing the #1 team at their place.
Can't make mistakes.
You got to make plays, and you can't let these things go.
3rd down and 10. Laurinaitis shows blitz, backs out of it. Williams directs traffic. And now Laurinaitis brings the blitz up the middle. Williams floats that one, and Cumberland had a hand on it, but there's 3 straight and out, and the Illini have to give it back.
Yeah, what Ohio State is doing is they're playing 8 guys against the run. They don't care. They don't think that Illinois can beat them with the pass.
James Laurinaitis coming off a 19-tackle, sack, and forced fumble performance last week. And you always have to know where number 33 is if you're the opposing offense. This punt's going to take an Illini roll, and it stops right about the 24, the 23-yard line. That's where Ohio State likes it. They've already got 2 76-yard scoring drives today, so they're going to start just about in that same spot. And Todd Beckman knows that when you're number one, hey, everybody comes after you with their best shot.
Playing at Ohio State, first of all, I think that does right there no matter what, because we're a 2-time defending Big Ten champs, and now we're number one. That maybe does put a little bit extra on it, but we expect that out of everybody we play.
Everybody gives Ohio State their best. Jim Tressel was talking with all of us about that very thing yesterday. Jay Lehman, the middle linebacker, looks over. He had 19 tackles in this game last year. Wells hit by Lehman and Antonio Steele.
You know, that's when you see Beckman moving around. I mean, here's a guy, he is 6'5" and he weighs 243 pounds. So he can move it. And here's Lehman. Here's the guy you're talking about. Watch this. He takes on the guard and he gets in on the bottom of the tackle. I love that guy. When we saw him the other day, he's nuts.
He was firing him up when they were warming up before the ball game. You saw him do the lineups. He is an energetic young man.
Here's Wells on a counter. Beanie Wells across the 40 and a first down to the 43-yard line. Wells for 15 more.
I just want to say to Lehman, because I may see him somewhere, I did it with respect.
That's right.
I say that. I mean, he's a great player. But, you know, this Ohio State team, when you look at it, and Illinois told us that, they need Beanie Wells. Ohio State needs Beanie.
Here's the unsung hero out of Champaign, Butkus and Lombardi semifinalist. He got his degree in 3 years in communications, wants to be either a sports anchor or maybe an infomercial host. I don't know. I don't know what that, I know what that means, I guess. I tell you what, he's got the gift of gab, so he's halfway there.
Yeah.
He made the tackle on that one after a pickup of 1. Jay Lehman, quite a character. Here he is before the ball game, as Bob was saying. And he gives his coach a chest bump. And on the last play, he's a guy that just has great angles and leverage, and he knows how to get guys down.
Yes, he's just a competitor. That's the best way to put it. He doesn't want to get beat. He wants to beat you and make the play.
2nd down and 9. Maurice Wells will flush out of that backfield that's empty for Beckman now. Todd drops to throw, and now he's going to run with it. Oh, and he took a big shot at the 48, 49-yard line.
You think he's kidding about being the infomercial host? No, he said, come on, haven't you seen the Jack LaLanne juicer or the Cuisinart griller? He is a connoisseur on infomercials. And then I said, well, what do you think's going to make you a good sportscaster? He says, well, I do a mean Keith Jackson impersonation, and he really does. So, you know, at the very least, he's got some potential there.
Well, we have wind the clock down, and the first quarter comes to a close. And what a first quarter it was. If the next 3 are like this, we're going to have some fun today. And a 1 at the Horseshoe. Number 1 Ohio State 14, the Illini 14.
Welcome back to Columbus. College football lives here.
Jeremy Fulham on the left, Bradley Elliott on the right, and there's Jeremy. He's wearing a pedometer. We put that thing on him this morning. He's already walked since he got up this morning, 5.4 miles as part of the band at Ohio State. Good job, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a lot of walking.
Keep working it. Here's Beckman on 3rd down. And Ohio State's going to have to give it up again. We welcome you back to the Horseshoe in Columbus. We're clearing bodies out of here like crazy. 14-14. Boys, we got fireworks going on here all over the place.
I'm an offensive guy. You know, I love it. You know, we got the first 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns.
You know, isn't it interesting? Every week we've talked about some part of defense. And today, Grease and I both talked about offensive things, and this place has exploded.
Here's a punt. Fair catch called for and taken right at the 10-yard line. So that's where the Illini are going to get the football back.
Your spotter, Clint, just about fell out of the booth.
Yeah.
That's a long drop.
He almost ended up in aisle 9, section 3. Well, it's been quite a season for the Illini, and their quarterback, Juice Williams, knows it now with 7 wins.
It's been a true blessing to this team to allow us to fight back out of a season last year to come out so far and be 7-3, and it gives us hope and it gives us something to look forward to in the future.
They got a lot to look forward to just in this game. They're playing very well. They're backed up, though, as far as they've been so far all day at their own 10-yard line. Mendenhall's been unable to get anything going on the ground so far. He's got something going here. Rashard Mendenhall, first down, his best run of the day, almost 15 yards. And a first down for the Illini, so he gives them some breathing room.
Paul talked about the 3 guys before the ball game. He talked about Mendenhall, the running back. He talked about the quarterback, Juice Williams, and Ben, the wide receiver. Those 3 guys are big play guys, along with an offensive line that is greatly improved.
Mendenhall came in with over 1,300 yards on the ground this season. One of the fine backs, along with Mike Hart and Beanie Wells and Javon Ringer and P.J. Hill. The Big Ten's got some good ones. No gain on that play. Laurinaitis, the captain, the junior captain, with the tackle. And the first time under Jim Tressel there's ever been a junior captain, and this is a guy.
Watch this guy. You just watch him get away from blockers and he's got Mendenhall now. He's not going to hit Mendenhall high. He's going to hit him low and bring him down.
2nd down and 10. Back to the spread formation for Juice Williams. Laurinaitis again shows him a little pressure, doesn't give it to him. And now Mendenhall gets very little on the left side, maybe a yard.
You know when you can tell a really well-coached football team, and I'm talking about Illinois, is Ohio State comes out, throws a pass play, makes a running play, it's 7-0. This team comes right back and ties it up. Ohio State goes back down, does the same thing again. This team comes back and ties it up. This is a well-coached football team, Illinois. This isn't a team we saw a couple of years ago.
No, that's for sure. They win today, and they'll have more wins than they had in the last, 3 seasons combined.
Yes, last 4 years combined.
3rd down and 9. Now the crowd trying to get in it for the Buckeye defense. Williams across the middle, incomplete, probably just as well. Ben got a hand on it, and he would have been leveled had he caught it anyway, I think. So Illinois is going to have to give it up again.
You talk about Illinois, I think we're looking at the most improved team in the Big Ten from last year to this year.
That guy is part of the reason why. Just signed a new contract extension. Santella to punts.
Oh, he shanked it.
Oh, boy, did he ever. It does take an Illinois bounce, but it's going to be great field position for the Buckeyes right in front of their own bench. They look at where that one went out at the 48-yard line. Tie game here in Columbus.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
Ohio State sparkled in their first 2 drives. 22 yards in their last 3, but they've got great field position. The best by either team to start a series so far. Their own 48-yard line. Hartline on the end around. He wants to throw it. Now he's going to tuck it and get what he can, and it might be a pretty good gain anyway. Got down to the 45-yard line. Picked up 7.
Good discipline, defensive secondary. Wanted to throw it, had him covered.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary so far on this one. And it started with a bang, I can tell you that much. Ohio State, 201 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wells on this run for the score. Maurice Wells had the other touchdown, but Illinois is matching him score for score. This is Willis, Jacob Willis on the long ball from Juice Williams. Part of a 4-touchdown game so far, 14 apiece with 12 minutes and change remaining in the first half. Wells, first down to the 38-yard line. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Well, Brad, the Illini are going to have to do for the time being without cornerback Vontae Davis. You might remember that helmet-to-helmet collision he had with Maurice Wells. The trainers aren't saying whether he has a concussion, but they were doing all of those tests that would dictate that. He has been trying to lobby Ron Zook to get back in, but for the time being, he's going to have to sit.
Well, you got to wonder they're going to try to take advantage of that, Grease, because Marcus Thomas over there is a true freshman.
Yeah, I just looked at that. And you know sooner or later he's going to get there.
At the 38, Ohio State, 20 straight conference wins. Going deep, Beckman just overshot Ballard. His big tight end who stretched out and just couldn't quite get to it.
You don't normally miss those. That's one that he missed.
Time for
Ballard down, right down the middle. Ballard just going to be right down the middle. Nobody's going to be there with him. Look at this.
Nobody in the middle.
Look at this.
And Bob, on the left-hand side, behind him, look over here on the left-hand side, there was another wide receiver wide open. Nobody was on him either. Well, he had two choices.
Once you throw the ball to the middle, everybody comes open because all the defensive backs go to the ball.
I'm saying before he threw it, this guy was open.
Second down, they go back to the ground, and no gain, maybe a yard for Beanie Wells. Jay Lehman again helped out on the stop. Check in with our Aflac trivia question this week. Since 1924, the Big Ten's awarded the silver football to the conference MVP. Who won that first most valuable player trophy? Think that one over. Give you hints. One of these two teams, an alum from one of these two teams. That's all we can give you.
These questions usually do refer to one of these two teams.
We try to do that.
Yeah, we would try to do that.
That's part of our big meeting session on Thursday also. And Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday. And the Monday conference call. Third down and long.
The daily conference call.
Basically, we all get together either by telephone or in person every day of the week.
Number 88. It's a 5-yard penalty.
First penalty of the ball game.
Third down.
False start. Steve Payman and his crew working this game today in Columbus.
Look at Jim Tressel there. He's the offensive coordinator and the head coach. He's looking for some good plays.
Well, you don't want to waste the great field position that they had.
And now they got it third down and a mile. They've got to get all the way down to the 28-yard line for a first down. Two tight ends. Hartline again will come in motion toward the ball. Beckman in the pocket in trouble, and down he goes. Boy, great pressure that time by the Illini, and Jerry Brown led the charge. He gets the sack.
That's one thing that this line can do is rush the passer. Sixth in the nation, coming into the ball game with 34 sacks. Take a look over here on the right side.
And there he comes. Down he goes. So they did waste the excellent field position. In fact, they're a yard behind where they got the ball after the punt. And now they have to punt themselves. A.J. Trapasso the kick. Hangs it up a mile in the air. And it's going to let this one go, and it's going to make the end zone. So it's going to be at the 20-yard line for the Illini. So far, they've been pretty impressive. The Juice has got a couple of touchdown passes. He'd love another one when we come back.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Saturn. With 5 totally new models, it's just something to rethink about. Saturn. Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Verizon Wireless.
That's Longaberger's home office, the world's largest basket, also 7-story corporate headquarters of the Longaberger Basket Company. And Tammy Longaberger, chair of the board and CEO, is a graduate of Ohio State. And she received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. I don't know who was the designer, but that's a pretty cool-looking building. That is a cool-looking building. First down at the 20-yard line. Illinois tied with the #1 team in the country. Here with 9:51 remaining in the first half. Mendenhall trying to stiff-arm his way to a gain and got maybe one again. Larry Grant, the outside linebacker, stayed with him. Laurinaitis came over and gave him some help. Coming up, a reminder on the Capital One halftime report. John and Craig and Doug will have highlights, including the Wisconsin win over Michigan. And of course, the Buckeyes travel to the Big House next week to play the Wolverines at noon right here on ABC.
They're not thinking about that right now.
No, they got their hands full. Inside handoff this time, and boy, it's tough sledding. I mean, you just have a hard time running against this Ohio State defense. Laurinaitis and Larimore combined on the stop. And Laurinaitis, his head coach, knows that he's really the heart of that defense.
He's a guy that enjoys the game. He learns as the game goes. You might get him the first time on a play, and he might have it figured out the second time. And he's just very instinctive, but also he has prepared himself to be that way. He just doesn't freelance. It all has a little bit of logic with him.
He's got a lot of logic and a lot of laying you out when he gets there.
Here he comes.
Slants, caught, first down, Illinois.
That's just a good play all around. The defense had a blitz coming. The quarterback saw it and ran through the slant before the blitzers could get there.
Got it to Joe Morgan. And now they go with a hurry up again, and they snap it in a hurry. Now the option. Williams trying to cut up inside, and this is going to be one of his better runs today. Juice gets to the 40. A pickup of about 7.
The reason they do the hurry up or the really quick offense is, number one, change the pace, and number two, not allow the defense to change personnel.
On 2nd and 3, Williams, he wants it all. Long ball out here for Morgan, collision, and no flag.
That's just incidental contact. And the other thing that what they're doing is, when you take a look at Juice Williams, when he comes up real quick, Bob, the Ohio State defensive line, they're not getting set. He's catching these guys going down in their stance, not being in their stance.
And here you see Donald Washington, and he's actually got the lead, and then the contact right there, and he was slow to get up. He really hit the field turf hard, and so Illinois has already lost Vontae Davis, or has been shaken up their left corner, and now here's the left corner, Donald Washington, for Ohio State that's shaken up. You could really see that that galvanized rubber that basically is part of field turf fly up when he hit the deck. He hit it hard, and he's going to have to come off.
It doesn't look like a knee or an ankle. Looks like maybe a hip, or the wind got knocked out of it.
Reminder, near the conclusion of our game today, we'll select Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevy will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Dufresne is in the backfield with Williams right now. Remember, he had an 80-yarder earlier to set up the Illini's first touchdown.
Nobody in the middle of the field.
Williams taking his time now. Mendenhall in motion. Williams zips it across the middle of the ball, in and out. Laurinaitis has got it. Now they're going to say incomplete. Oh, I thought Morgan had it just for a split second. So did Laurinaitis. He was going to make sure and scoop that thing up.
You know, this is after the fact, but Laurinaitis, when you talk about him, we just heard Coach Trussell talk about him. You talk about a guy aware and being in the place where the ball is. Here comes the hit. The ball pops out. Bang, the hit. Watch you. First bounce. Bink, Laurinaitis. There he is. And back downfield.
Jim Haycock, the defensive coordinator, had all 11 guys up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Santella got the kick away, and it's a good punt. Way back at the 13 is Ray Small. Ray's trying to give some ground to gain some ground. I don't think he's going to get there. Goes down about where he caught it, the 13-yard line, roughly. Sam Carson made the stop on the special teams. 7:36 remaining in the half. Still tie game here at the Horseshoe. With Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, Brad Nessler from Columbus, Ohio. Top-ranked team in the land, trying to go to 11-0. First 6 possessions, we had 4 touchdowns, and now the defenses are starting to tighten up a little bit. 7:36 remaining in the half. Wells, no gain on that play. Might have lost a little bit of yardage. We asked you the Aflac trivia question a little bit earlier. Since 1924, they started giving out the silver football to the conference most valuable player. Who won the very first one? I think a lot of Big Ten fans might know. Here it is, and this isn't on field turf. The Galloping Ghost. Watch this move right here coming up, though. Ooh, I like that one. A little stiff arm. He's Red Grange, the Galloping Ghost, one of the great all-time football players in college football history. Won it back in 24.
How do you tackle a guy covered in mud?
How do you tackle a guy that's a ghost? You can't even see him. Second down and long. Beckman rolling to throw. Todd's running out of time. Finally lets it go and just threw it away to save another down, and it's going to be 3rd down and 11.
Grace, this is what I call a true rollout. Beckman rolled out for 50 yards.
No, I like that. I think you have to have something designed to get your quarterback outside the pocket where he's not a sit and duck all the time, and the defensive line can plan on him being there.
Yeah, he rolled all the way to Akron before he threw that thing. 3rd down and 11.
It's about 120 miles from here.
Set to throw, maybe. Got it away across the middle, and it's complete to Rubisky.
That's the first catch since the first drive for Rubisky.
They needed 11, and they got 12. And we go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt?
All right, Brad, seemingly every week Arizona State is playing from behind. It's the case again today. They got down 10-0 at UCLA. Rudy Carpenter popped as he threw, but he hit Kyle Williams. Carpenter's also been sacked 3 times. Air Force up 2 touchdowns on the Irish as Notre Dame tries to avoid losing twice to a service academy for the first time since 44.
Wow. Ohio State here trying to regain the lead before halftime. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 14-14. Jay Lehman in on the stop again. He's one fired up guy. For 18 straight weeks until this week, Jay led the Big Ten in tackles. That's a long time, and that's a lot of hitting.
Well, and you think that, wouldn't you think someone would be blocking him? You would put a guy on him?
Can't block him.
Last year, he had 152 tackles on the season. Came in with 102 into this one. Here's a toss sweep, ball's out, and Wells just falls on it wisely. Jay Lehman and that Illinois defense, they know what they're all about coming into this game.
Listen, folks.
At Illinois, we consider ourselves a pack of hyenas, really, because hyenas can kill the big king of the jungle if they all pack up and, jump on him. The lion can't take on 11 of them. They're just ferocious because they're nasty.
11 hyenas playing on Illinois' defense.
Don't you just love him? I mean, you can talk to this guy forever.
It's the 4th time that Ohio State has been 4th down or longer, a 3rd down and 10 or longer.
And they're going to be longer. And they're going to be a flag for holding, and they'll decline that and make them give it up. As Will Davis comes in to get the sack, and that is 8.5 on the year for Will.
Holding. Offense, number 71. That penalty is declined.
Steve Raring, the holding call, as I said, it would obviously be declined. They take the sack, they take the loss, they take the punting situation.
Ever since Beanie Wells went out with that thumb or wrist injury, their running game has been nil, and their offense has done nothing.
A.J. Trapasso's been a busy punter. He's inside his own 10-yard line. And DeJuan Warren, if he can field this, should get pretty good field position. Got to back up, get out of the way. It takes an Illinois bounce. And this is going to be the best starting field position for the Illini at the 48-yard line. Chris Wells not having the kind of game that he's had the past 3 weeks. That thumb or wrist is probably part of the problem. Tie game in Columbus.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 12, Earl Campbell. This running back punished defenders with a style that hardly befit his nickname, the Tyler Rose. Campbell was selected as the Southwestern Conference Running Back of the Year in each of his 4 college seasons. IBM, getting it done.
Holy cow. If Earl's number 12, I can't wait for the next 11. Number 2 and number 1 announced on New Year's Day on ABC.
Greasy, I'm telling you, he won't tell us.
Grease was one of the...
I had him up there. He killed us when he was with the Houston Oilers when I was a Dolphin. He ran about for 600 yards one night.
On a Monday night.
Yes.
Here's Mendenhall cutting it outside and gets into Ohio State territory as he got to the 47. Picked up a 5 for number 5.
It's going to be Brad, but that's his 10th. That's his 10th carry. 4 of his carries have been for no gain or a loss, and up until that point, Mendenhall had a total of 18 yards.
And he's got the single-season rushing record. Harris had it in 02. He only needed 17 yards coming in. He's got 23 on 10 carries now. 2nd down and 5. Just under 4 minutes to go in the half. Option. Williams will keep. Picked up 2. Vernon Golston, the defensive end, made the stop. Golston having a heck of a season. Beautiful aerial coverage of our game today, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship. The Bloomin' Onion won You can look for the Outback Steakhouse Airship at ESPN on ABC college football games throughout the entire season and the bowl year. Kind of a hazy day, cool.
Yeah,
it's overcast. The lights are on. It's kind of an in-betweener right now. It's not quite 5 o'clock local time, and it's almost dark. Third down and a long 3, an important 3 if Illinois wants to lead before halftime. Mendenhall off the right side. He's going to be about a yard shy, I think. Marcus Freeman made the stop. So now it's decision time for Coach Zook. 4th down and a yard. You're too far out for a field goal.
No, you don't take a chance.
You don't take a chance here. You don't ever want to take a chance.
Well,
you guys that wear sweater vests never want to take a chance.
No, that's not it.
They're going to take a chance, maybe.
They ain't going to snap this ball.
All right, so we're all thinking differently. Right now, they got 3 wideouts to the top of your screen, and Juice Williams in the gun. And they're waiting. And as Bob Greasy would say, we're waiting. And they snap it. And it's Mendenhall. Mendenhall, first down on the run down the sideline. And the sweater vests lose to the 17. First down, Illinois.
You know, Ness, when you talk about Mendenhall, I gave you all the stats 4 times. He hasn't gained a yard or less. And then all of a sudden, when you talk about a guy, here he comes and he breaks out. He's another one of those guys. He's like Beanie Wells. You better wrap your arms around him, because if you don't, here's what happens.
Laurinaitis got a piece of him.
Does not. He got his arms on him, and that's all they got.
25-yard pickup for Mendenhall, his biggest run of the day. Down to the 18. First down, Illinois. Trying to take the lead on #1 Ohio State on their home field before halftime. Mendenhall left side this time, and he cartwheels down to the 14-yard line. Bonnie?
Brad, you mentioned Mendenhall was 17 shy of the single-season record coming into today. He had the chance to break the record last week against Minnesota, but instead he wound up sitting himself so his older brother Walter could play. There you see him, number 34. Walter's a year and a half older, but he really hasn't gotten a ton of offensive touches. He's been mostly a special teamer. Richard told me my record didn't matter. I just wanted to get a chance to see my brother play.
That's pretty nice. The whole Mendenhall family in Champaign. Mom, Sybil, and his sister Vanessa's in high school there as they move to Champaign to be with the guys. And now Ben keeping his balance. That's his first catch. And with the first catch, he's got it 1st and goal for Illinois. A couple of plays ago, Ron Zook took a chance.
Yeah.
Hey,
on the road.
He said, hey, we're trying to make a statement with this program. He said, you know, winning is an attitude. Unfortunately, losing's an attitude, too, and we're trying to turn the attitude around.
That's impressive right there, that the players know that the coach will go for it. They like that.
Dufresne in the backfield with Williams. 1st and goal for the Illini.
Here they come.
Dufresne gets the carry straight ahead. Might have gotten a yard, ran into Marcus Freeman right away. And we're under a minute. And full complement of timeouts. That's not Illinois' problem. Their problem is trying to gut out the next 7 or 8 yards to the Ohio State end zone.
It just looks like what they really want to do, Ness, is run the clock out, because they have 3 timeouts. And they just want to run the clock out so that Ohio State, before the half, they don't get the ball back when they score.
Ohio State's defense on its heels today compared to seasonal average. They've already seen the Illini top that. 2nd and goal, Illinois. Williams drops to throw. To the corner, touchdown! Got it to Brian Gamble. So a gamble about 3 plays ago pays off, and the Illini have a touchdown.
There was about 6 guys crossing from right to left and left to right, and the defensive backs got picked off.
Silencing the sellout crowd here for sure in Columbus. Wow, the gutsy call on 4th down.
Yes.
And then that gamble paid off, and so did number 26, Brian Gamble, the freshman, an 8-yard touchdown pass, and Illinois leads top-ranked Ohio State 21-14.
You know, it's amazing, Grease. You see all these guys crossing, and all these things are happening in the middle of the field, and all of a sudden, one guy breaks out, and that's Gamble.
These guys are going to be crossing, and Gamble's going to be crossing on the other side. Watch the white shirts crossing, and all the red ones get picked off. Right there. You see, he comes free because the defensive back run into each other.
And all alone is Brian Gamble, a freshman out of Massillon, Ohio, and how big for an Ohio kid to come into Columbus, his first trip in here, and finds the end zone to take the lead.
That's big.
Hey, when you're running across there like that, Ness, all of a sudden you're the only guy there. There are no red shirts. You think, isn't this cute?
Let me say this. That route takes a little bit of time to develop. The offensive line did a great job of giving Juice time to throw, and he just waited, looked off, was kept backing up. He knew he didn't have to throw it very far, so he was trying to buy some time and laid it out there. Good play all around.
Career-high touchdown, 3 in this game in the first half. And now just 17 seconds remaining. Squib kick takes a while to get there. Picked up at about the 12 by Ray Small. And Ohio State only has 12 seconds left before halftime. When they lead at half, Illinois hasn't lost. Barring some kind of miracle, they're either going to be tied or leading at the half of this one. An Illinois team that Ohio State knew they were going to be in a dogfight with, and they are now. And boy, if they didn't know it coming out of the locker room, they're going to know it when they get in the locker room.
There haven't been very many times this year where Ohio State has been tested.
Beckman will take a knee. Final play of the first half. They were tested a little bit against Wisconsin last week. They were behind in that game. They had to battle their way back and win. They had a sensational second half. They're going to have an even better second half, maybe at home here today. You see the Illini fans down in the corner of the end zone for their team. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Coach Tressel, your team hasn't gone into the half very often trailing this year. What about Illinois' offense is giving you trouble?
Oh, they do a good job. They have a lot of different weapons. They come up with a good plan. They've made plays. We gave them a turnover, gave them a short field. Right now, that's the difference in the game. It's going to be a long battle.
With your offense, Beanie Wells hurt the thumb. How much do you think that's been able to affect your productivity?
Well, he's going to be ready to go. We'll get after the second half.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Coach Tressel, thanks for being with Bonnie. It's halftime in Columbus. What a first half of action. And Illinois is trying to pull the stunner of this November weekend.
This is the Capital One halftime report. John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie. The #1 team in the nation, a game some of you are watching, the Ohio State Buckeyes. All standing between them and a national championship is Illinois and then Michigan next week. And, of course, Michigan is a big game. We don't have to worry about Illinois, do we? No, Beanie Wells says no. 11 yards here. 7-0. Ohio State has the lead. It was a 7-7 game when the other Wells, the one with the long hair, Maurice, goes in from 19 yards out.
Well, didn't you put Beanie Wells on the Heisman list this morning?
Why not?
Yes, I think you did. And here's another Wells brother on the ground. It looked like it might be at the Buckeyes, but the Illini with Juice at quarterback said, we got a different story for you here. It's a competitive football team.
That's a great pass as well. Jacob Willis hauls it in. And then Juice Williams to Brian Gamble, and Illinois has the lead.
This little crisscross out the back door, and Juice throwing the ball, they're running the ball on the ground, physical with Ohio State.
Missouri looking ahead to Kansas in a couple of weeks, but they have to knock off Texas A&M today. Chase Daniel, 81 yards to Jeremy Macklin.
You know what, this is a real tough game for Missouri because you've got an Aggie football team. They got a coach that's in trouble. They got a team that's lacking character. They want to show they got character. And had Stephen McGee and the Aggies there for a while, made it a ball game.
So Martellus Bennett, who takes it in here, it's just a 5-point game at that point. But then Chase Daniel and Macklin hook up one more time.
Both on the ground and in the air. Chase had a big day passing the ball with 3 touchdown passes, but Tony Temple ran the ball extremely well today as well.
Another game some of you are watching, Arizona State coming off a loss. They ruined their unbeaten season, facing UCLA. Terrence Austin, 68 yards on the punt return.
I thought this was really important early in the ball game for UCLA to get a big play out of their special teams to take the pressure off Osar. Rashawn, the quarterback, converted from wide receiver. Call him a 4th-teamer, 5th-teamer, whatever. He's filling in, doing a pretty darn good job.
We saw Craig Shepard go in. Rudy Carpenter to Kyle Williams here to make it a 10-7 game. Arizona State kicked a field goal right before halftime. That's why it's a 3-point game. Auburn facing Georgia in the SEC. Brandon Kutsu takes off.
Yeah, it looked like Matt Stafford to me.
That's Matt Stafford running right, passing 58 yards to Muhammad Massaquoi. Send to 3 is the score. That's Stafford again to Sean Bailey. A 17-10 lead. Georgia has the lead right now against Auburn, an Auburn team that, again, the SEC, we say this about them more than any other conference, that they beat up on each other. Is that a fair assessment of this conference?
And just survive. You know what? Tennessee, how about them today, taking care of business against Arkansas? You got an Auburn team now. They're trying to figure out if they're going to have a head football coach leave their program. Everybody's talking about Tommy Tuberville. He's going here. He's going there. Bottom line, you got a team that's in battle. They're over there, and they're against a Georgia football team with Stafford doing a pretty good job.
How about UCLA with a wide receiver playing quarterback? Their running backs all banged up. They come up with a huge play in special teams to put themselves in a game that Arizona State was undefeated a week ago and looking towards a national championship.
All right, a game that Boston College should have lost was to Virginia Tech. A game they did lose was to Florida State. And those two teams were hooking up against each other today. Sean Glennon, Tyrod Taylor, 31-yard pass to Justin Harper.
Yeah, but it was Glennon who got the start, rightfully so. Tyrod Taylor early in the game comes in and was hot. Had 5 of 5 on his first passes.
2 touchdown passes. UConn against Cincinnati. Randy Edsel, team is unbeaten in conference play. Ben Mock, a yard to Conan Barwin. 7-0. Cincinnati has the lead. Ben Mock once again, this time 6 yards to Charlie Howard.
What a great story Mock is. He was at Wake Forest, had the big injury, transferred, having a great year. Connecticut's kind of been doing it with smoke and mirrors, but good, solidly coached team.
Texas Tech in Texas. Mac Brown saw his team come from behind last week against Oklahoma State. Colt McCoy, 18 yards to Jordan Shipley. And it's a 7-0 lead. Graham Harrell continues his outstanding year, 8 yards to Eric Morris.
A kind of a reversal of the way they started this. Eric Morris is the guy's name. But, you know, this was a game where last year Texas was down 21-0 to Texas Tech. So you got Jamal Charles on the ground, Colt McCoy running the ball, Charles here for the touchdown, and the Longhorns starting fast. That's something they really focused on this week.
Boise State against Utah State. Taylor Tharp to Richie Brocco, 24-0. Then Ian Johnson, 15 yards on this run.
See, Boise State's good on blue turf, and where's he going?
Blue.
Oh, okay, blue. Yeah, get to the blue. They're used to that.
You know who's blue right now? Notre Dame.
Nah.
Because they're trailing Air Force 24-10. They've never lost to 2 military academies in the same year, and they're about to do it in back-to-back weeks.
Wasn't it you that asked if maybe the Coast Guard had a ball club?
Coast Guard, maybe. maybe
National Guard. The Mean Machine. Mean Machine. Longest yard.
Machine.
Bring on the guards.
Bring the guards.
Actually, I was wrong. 1944, they lost to both academies, so outside of my lifetime. Just the same. Stick around.
Barely,
coming up.
Barely.
No. Way out of my lifetime. Way out of my lifetime. More scores and highlights. We'll see if there are any more upsets along the way. This is the Capital One Halftime Report. John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie, which means it's time for our No Huddle highlights. Michigan had won 8 consecutive games after losing the first 2. All they had to do was get past Wisconsin and then face Ohio State, beat them, and they win the Big Ten. Ryan Mallett, 26 yards to Adrian Arrington, but they couldn't stop the ground game of Wisconsin. Zach Brown at 108 yards.
You know what? Brett Bielema has said, regardless of who plays running back for us, they will not mess up their shorts. They'll be ready to play. Sure enough today, between Donovan and the ground game and the defense, man, Camp Randall Stadium pulls off a big one.
No messed up shorts. That's good. Wake Forest against Clemson. It was the Cullen Harper show. 5 yards to Tyler Grisham.
He was on fire today. He's a 65% passer. He throws a couple more touchdowns today. Just relaxed. He's looking people off, going to the back of the end zone here for a touchdown. Looked great throwing a football.
Aaron Kelly breaks the school record for touchdown receptions with 11. Alabama and Mississippi State. The Bulldogs got him last year. John Parker Wilson picked off by Anthony Johnson, who returns it 100 yards for the touchdown. Mississippi State wins and is bowl eligible.
This was right before half, and man, you're talking about Mississippi State getting pulled out of the water. Now they go on and they win and they're bowl eligible. Great job, Coach Kroom.
Arkansas against Tennessee. Eric Ames, 16 yards to Austin Rogers, makes it a 7-0 lead. And then Ames again, 14 yards to Josh Briscoe.
You know, the story today was that they kept Darren McFadden in check. They couldn't get the ground game going for Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't have a great passing game, only 160 yards passing as well. Kept them in check after last week.
Kansas State, Nebraska. Remember, Nebraska gave up 76 points last week against Kansas. Well, the kickoff return 94 yards by Courtney Grigsby, and it was tied at 7 apiece. That's the last time this thing would be close. Joe Gans, 26 yards to Marlon Lucky.
Well, so much for Sam Keller's absence hurting this football team, and Joe Gans comes on, has a miraculous day, throwing 510 yards. That says 7 touchdown passes. How do you go from
both are school records? Now, think about this. You give up 76 points one week, and the next week you score 70 plus. I got to believe that's never happened before.
Well, our guy Benny went and looked it up, and, you know, the University of Houston back in 1989, they came close, but it was like
within 20 points,
you know, it was
55,
It never happens, man. How about Callahan and his coaching staff and the team? Shows a lot of character, doesn't it, Doug? Because you know that team could have easily gone in the
yeah, that's a character check. And Kansas State's a 5-4 team. They're not that bad. You know, Nebraska being 4-6 coming into this, they turned it around, got the guys going, woke up 70 points.
You know what it really does? This is one of those deals that this game here helps them in recruiting, because Nebraska against Kansas State and the state of Texas for players is a big deal.
But I don't think it's saving anybody's jobs in Nebraska. I doubt that very much. This is the Capital One halftime report.
The Capital One halftime report, brought to you by Capital One, always providing you with great value without the hassle for your financial needs. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Saturday night football in prime time tonight. Some of you will see number 17 USC facing Cal. Others will get Boston College trying to bounce back from their loss to Florida State, or Kansas trying to remain unbeaten as they face Oklahoma State. Kansas looking to move up that ladder in the BCS. And Kansas is a team right now with Todd Reesing at quarterback. This is a guy that's about 5'10", they say. Well, some people say he's a little shorter than that, but just the same, he's getting the job done.
You're a killer, man. Hey, regardless of the guy's height, he's a football player, right?
Yeah.
He's led an offense, too, this season at Kansas that has scored 50 points 5 times. They scored 3 times 50 points in the last 10 years. He gets around, he makes plays, he's smart. You can see him down the field with his vision. He's got awesome distribution abilities. Hey, the guy's a good player, doesn't make mistakes either.
Great player, doesn't turn the ball over. He moves around, buys time to look upfield and make the big play. He's got a little bit of a slinger motion. He uses a little elbow and wrist. Reminds me of my throwing motion, actually. I love the way he takes off and runs for first downs. A fiery competitor, leads this team. Very few penalties, very few turnovers.
What were you listed as height-wise in the program?
5'10". And I'm 5'9" and 7/8.
And you're sticking to it. That's your story. Stick around. Your second half is coming up after this.
This crowd in Columbus, a little bit stunned. ESPN's College Football ABC, brought to you by Best Buy, 21-14. As the Illini got a late touchdown at the end of the second quarter. And now the fans are trying to gear it back up. When the Buckeyes came back out of the tunnel, you could just feel that everybody's saying, okay, still 2 quarters to go. We're number 1. We're perfect 10-0. Can we go to 11-0? Well, they were down by 7 to Wisconsin last week, and they came back to win 38-17. Now they're down 21-14, and they have to come from a touchdown back again. The Illini now get the ball first to start the third quarter. Petrie's kick will be fielded at the 10 by Willis, who has a touchdown reception today. Jacob Willis winding through traffic, and Willis gets out to about the 28-yard line. That's where Juice Williams and the Illinois offense will go to work first to start the third quarter. Well, you know, Bob, sometimes when you're playing the number 1 team in the country, you're not supposed to win. You have to play almost a perfect game. No turnovers and no penalties against Illinois in the first half.
Exactly. And Illinois turned it over once, and that turned to 7 points. Ohio State's got to get back to what they're doing best, and that is running the football and playing pitch and catch with their receivers. They're not doing that.
You got to wonder, Beanie Wells is going to be healthy enough to carry the load in the second half. You'll notice that Paul McGuire's not with us. We'll tell you why in a minute. Juice Williams with 3 touchdown passes comes up firing to start the quarter and got it out to Brian Gamble at about the 29-yard line. Bonnie?
Really surprised, Brad. I figured the Illinois players would be coming out all hooting and hollering out of the locker room. Very businesslike, straight-faced, even Jay Lehman. And I asked Zuck why. He said, well, they were excited in the locker room, but this team's faced enough adversity that they know there's still 30 minutes of football to play. That said, he said this team really feels like this is their year.
the third quarter vital always for both teams, it seems, but probably more important for the Ohio State defense. And they're equal to the task on that handoff to Mendenhall, who got about a yard. It's going to bring up third down and about 5. We lost Paul, and sometimes we lock him out of our booth.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, and we wonder sometimes where he might be. And he's made his way all the way over. As you see, we're 30 seconds into the quarter, and there he is.
Hey. You know, you guys aren't funny. You know, when you told me that we're going to move everything to the end zone, I didn't know I was going to be this high. I'm getting a nosebleed.
He'll watch from behind Juice Williams on a third down and 4. Ohio State showing blitz. Williams stands in across the middle, incomplete. Chekwa made the hit. Willis couldn't hold it, and Laurinaitis and the defense come up with what they'd hoped for, a 3-and-out.
And if the Buckeyes are going to turn that around, it might be coming from the defense. The hard hitting right there. Maybe get some turnovers. Stop Illinois. Get good field position for your offense.
From Paul's view, the punts from Santella. Running up on it in a hurry at the 41 is small, and he's still on his feet, and now it's going to be great field position for Ohio State. A 16-yard return of a short punt, and they're in Illinois territory. That's exactly how you want to start the third quarter if you're Ohio State.
Yeah, if you got a kickoff, kick it down deep in their territory, hold them for 3 plays, force them punt, and you get into good field position.
Pacific Live game summary, 230 total yards for the Illini in the first half. As I mentioned, no turnovers and no penalties, 150 on the ground. That one turnover for Ohio State turned into points. Now you wonder if Ohio State and Jim Tressel might not call a big-time number here to open up this half. Nope, they're going to keep it on the ground, and it's going to be a loss of 1. Jay Lehman has come to play, the middle linebacker. Lehman out of Champaign, the local product, 6'3", 243, and watch him play that spot.
Somebody's got to block him.
Yeah, somebody's got to touch him at least.
Yeah.
And Laurinaitis and Lehman, of course, 2 of the best in the business, 2 of the best in the country, and 6 tackles for Jay. James had 5. We'll keep our eye on those guys the rest of this game, obviously. 4 wide receivers on 2nd down and 11 for Todd Beckman. Throws wide open to Robisky, and Robisky short of the first down by about a yard.
Let's see how Ohio State faces this adversity. They haven't been down at halftime all year. The last time they were behind, you got to go back to the championship game last year, and those are not good thoughts for these Buckeye players.
Well, Illinois wants to keep the juice flowing as he was in the first half, and Ohio State's got to remember they're number 1 and they're Ohio State, and right now they're trying to play like it here early in the third quarter. 3rd down and a yard, and the hitting is intense. Marcus Thomas with a tackle, and it's going to be 4th. Beanie Wells now. I thought he was holding his knee. Maybe not. Hopefully not for Ohio State fans. And we got a 4th down coming up, and Wells is going to have to come out.
Hey, Ness, I'll tell you what. It's the most amazing thing when you watch it. Watch how this hole closes. Now, it looks like Beanie Wells has got it open, but that thing closes so fast. I'm right here, right in the back of it. It's wild. You guys ought to come up here, and I'll go back over there where it's warm.
They're coming at you on 4th down and a yard, Paul, and it's Maurice Wells. And I don't know. Illinois is saying no, but I think his second effort got him the first down. Lehman and Walker made the stop. It's a 1st down and a 4th and 1. That's only the 10th time Ohio State's gone for it on 4th down this year, but they're batting 60%. 6 out of 10 now.
You know, in the old days when Paul Brown had the Cleveland Browns, every game was from this end zone camera. Now you just take a look at Wells making the 1st down, but every single game that he recorded for the players was from the end zone, so you can see the holes open up.
You can see everything develop from where Paul McGuire is right now. Beckman, he's trying to develop something in the backfield. Down the sideline is small, kind of a dangerous pass, and it's incomplete.
Did a nice move to buy some time, and then another nice move to throw the ball away and avoid the sack. This Illinois team, Brad, 7-3 coming in. They won 7 games. The 3 losses, they were in all 3 of the losses. So they haven't been blown out all year. This is, like I said, this is the most improved team in the Big Ten by far from last year.
There's the Mr. Buckeye. Chris Wells back as Beckman throws complete to Small inside the 25, but short of the first down, I think, by about a yard. DeRay Hicks made the stop, and it's going to bring up another 3rd down and short situation. They had 3rd and short, then 4th and short. Did you know a win today would give the Illini 8 wins, and that's as many as the last 4 seasons combined? That's amazing.
They won 2 last year, 2 the year before, then 3, and then 1. They were 1-11 4 years ago.
And jumping is Jerry Brown. I don't know if he was drawn offside or not.
Prior to the snap, false start.
He was.
Offense, number 74. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Kirk Barton is the guy with the penalty, and Barton's a leader, really, of that offensive group, number 74. He's just going to jump a little bit too soon, clapped his hands, and Brown was all over him. Jim Tressel was telling us Kirk Barton has taken over the leadership in the locker room because he's one of the old guys. He's a senior playing his last game here, and some of the young guys have followed his lead. He does it by example. He's not afraid to talk in the locker room. That time he just made a mistake. With the throw completes, big collision at the 21-yard line. Sanzenbacher, the freshman, made the catch, and that's a 1st down.
Well, there aren't many senior starters on this team for Ohio State. 21 of the 24 starters on offense, defense, and the kickers are back next year.
Makes you kind of think how scary they might be when they have 1 starter on defense. It's a senior, and that's Larry Grant. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. 1st down, Ohio State trying to tie this thing up in the 3rd quarter. Beckman is going to run with it. And is going to be dragged down by Will Davis, I beg your pardon. A pickup of 2.
You know, Beckman on this play here, he wanted to look to his left where the 2 receivers were. That's where he threw it on the last play for the 1st down. Watch him, he'll look to his left, but then he sees that big hole in the middle, and watch how fast from this end zone that thing closes. He thought he could run all the way to the goal line. Not so.
He did it so quickly, Paul, it almost looked like a quarterback draw, but I don't think it was.
Maurice Wells behind Beckman on a 2nd down and 8. 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. 9th play of the Ohio State drive. They haven't gone far yet. Wells had a 19-yard touchdown earlier in the game. He's got it down inside the 15 to the 14. Jay Lehman again in on the stop. As you look up to 9:35, that's the most illuminated Paul McGuire's ever been because of the big scoreboard and all those bulbs under his mustache.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's getting warm here with the little bulbs lighting up. But I'll tell you what is amazing is when you see these holes open up from this end zone, I mean, they come straight at you. You know who's going to make the play before they make it.
I've seen him lit up a few times.
I have too. Here's Wells on a toss sweep. The cutback, a nice one, and he's inside the 10 to the 9. 1st and goal, Ohio State. And now Maurice Wells is writhing in pain, and the helmet comes off. And holding the back of his right leg, and already Beanie Wells is out there taking the field. I don't know, maybe it's his left leg. I thought he was holding the back of his right leg. Now it looks like it's his shin or maybe a knee on the left side. He had the touchdown.
You know, when you see this thing,
game.
now watch this from the end zone. You're looking at it from where I'm looking at it, and watch how quick he cuts back. When he sees that hole, it's like now he sees the hole, he sees the block, and he's back into it. This is a great place to watch the game if you had like gloves and extra clothes and a heater.
Here's a look at the end of the play, and that left leg isn't supposed to go that way, at least not quite that far. We got a timeout as Wells limps off. Ohio State trying to limp into a tie.
DLP HD TV is an official sponsor of ESPN College Football on ABC HD.
State 1st and goal at the Illinois 9. Beanie Wells back at the tailback spot for the Buckeyes.
Got a freshman down here, Bradley.
That's the call, and only got about a yard. Britton Miller made the stop.
You got a freshman, Thomas, down here that's replacing Vontae Davis. He would be the guy to go after if you want to throw the football.
And you would think if they're going to throw it, this is a down to throw it. Rubisky and Hartline look like they're both going to trot out to the left side. Hartline hasn't caught anything since the first quarter. He's the slot man. And the freshman, Sanzenbacher, to the bottom of your screen. 2nd and goal, Ohio State. Beckman throws it out, complete to Hartline, but Lehman's there.
Just too much speed on that Illini defense. And then mainly in the name of Jay Lehman.
Jay Lehman in grad school, has already graduated in communications, as we told you earlier, and he's communicating on that field. Nobody's touching him.
Wow.
And the angle he takes
He
again.
beats the blocks.
He beats the
Cordle.
blocks.
Exactly. He recognizes, he sees the play, he knows who's coming to block him. 64, the center, was Cordle, and he beats the block and gets the tackle. He's just a bright, smart player.
Beanie Wells trots way out here to the right side as a wide receiver. 3rd down and goal. Beckman in trouble. Todd's trying to scramble around to find some time. Throws to the end zone. Tipped. And it's intercepted.
Picked off.
Intercepted in the end zone on the ricochet by Antonio Steele. Marcus Thomas got a hand on it, and Steele swipes it in the back of the end zone.
Hey, Grace, wait till you see what this defensive secondary does. They don't move. When they see Beckman running, they all stay back in the end zone. You know the end zone, how you use the back line, it's so good for you. But just take a look at these guys. They don't leave. They stay there. They see Beckman running, so they don't back up or come up to Beckman. They let the other guys take care of that. The ball's tipped in the air. They get the interception. What a great play by the defense.
The point there was Beckman. He had all kinds of time. He loses his cool. He scrambles around when he didn't have to, and then throws the pick.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. This holiday will help you put together perfect gifts. The Nissan Titan, proud presenter of the 2007 Heisman Trophy. To cast your vote, go to theheismanvote.com. And John Hancock, the future is yours.
Well, that field once grew corn, but now it sprouts 109 people-sized ears of concrete corn. I tell you what, you take a bite out, look out, Eric, you take a bite out of one of those babies and you're going to be rearranging your molars for weeks. Tribute to San Fran's Ohio State University researcher of corn projects. Well, Illinois with the interception. It's got the ball back. Only the 2nd red zone turnover for Ohio State all year. Williams throws way high, and that one was almost picked off.
All right, your offense is struggling, so Ohio State defensively come up with some plays, get a pick, and make something happen. Get some good field position for your offense.
Illinois clinging to a touchdown lead that they got with about 17 seconds left in the first half on Juice Williams' 3rd touchdown pass of the day. 3 touchdowns allowed today, and there had only been a couple here all year, and those 2 were Wisconsin last week.
Well, 7 all, but only 2 here in the shoe.
On the run, and a first down run. It is Daniel Dufresne. He's performing well at an 80-yarder earlier, now 13 more. You talk about performances. We want to pick our performers of the week that we all pick every week. I took Chad Hall, a little quarterback at Wesleyan High School in Atlanta. Now he's the tailback at Air Force, and they're leading Notre Dame today. We'll get back to it in just a second. I might have to do Paul's because I think he's on his way back over from the scoreboard to the booth. He just took the whole damn Navy after their win over Notre Dame last week.
And that's a good pick. I took the Kansas quarterback, Reesing, 6 TD passes.
How about my Jersey guy, Sean Moreno, 384 yards, 6 TDs in the last 2 games for Georgia. Nice job.
Probably doing a pretty good job against Auburn today. The Dogs lead the Tigers 17-10 the last time we heard at halftime. 2nd down at 10. Williams taking his time. And on the run, Great fake, and then took it himself for 9 more. And that's the ingredient, Grease, you and I and Paul were talking about at halftime. Ohio State's just a little bit on their heels because he can run so well.
Well, that's for sure. And he's not getting good pass rush because he can run the ball and he can run the option. And when that happens, right there, he just fooled the defensive end on the outside.
And the hurry-up offense nets another first down.
Whenever you've got a quarterback that can run, especially a spread offense, when a quarterback can run, you want to be disciplined and stay in your lanes and be able to tackle. You don't want to necessarily come upfield and create lanes where he can run.
See some of the other games coming up tonight on our family networks, and of course Kansas is one of the undefeateds left.
That's a big game they've got against Oklahoma State.
And if anybody thought this was going to be a day at the beach on the banks of the Olentangy, think again. Illinois by a touchdown here in the third quarter. Williams again cuts it up to about the 49. Marcus Freeman knocked him off his feet. And Williams has played almost a flawless game. Laurinaitis is there to meet him. We've got some great views of the horseshoe, and there you see a beautiful look at the horseshoe from the Bloomin' Onion one. Today, however, Ed Andrea Daling is at the helm. We've had the Bloomin' Onion with us a whole bunch this year, and gives us some great pictures of these beautiful stadiums and cities that we're in every weekend. Second down and 5 at the 49 for the Illini. Down to 5 minutes in the third. Williams play action. Throws. Oh, what a catch. Brian Gamble, who had a touchdown just before halftime, and the freshman laid out for that one.
Well, you're right, Brad. It was a great catch and a big play. They're moving the chains.
And now they hustle up at the 36, first down. 15-yard pass play to Gamble. First and 10, Illinois. Williams has a look over to the Illini sideline. And now gives it off on the left to Mendenhall. And Mendenhall got inside the 32-yard line. Bonnie?
I'll tell you what a difference a year makes. Last year when Juice Williams was playing Ohio State, Zook benched him for a while, and then he came back in, and then Laurinaitis right there knocked him out of the game. And Juice remembers that. He said, he hit me square in the jaw, and my jawbone just went cracking up in my face, and there was so much pain. But as they say, no pain, no gain, and evidently he's a smarter quarterback for it this year.
He was probably only drinking juice for a few days after that shot. Second, along 5.
Down the middle.
Williams down the middle, wide open man. Touchdown, Illinois. Wilkins for the score, a 31-yarder, and Juice for the 4th time today finds a different receiver.
Right down the middle. There is nobody in the center of the field. Look at all the red shirts. They're going uncovered. Right down the middle of the field. Juice finds him and gets him the football.
Extra point by Jason Rita. Again, the crowd is in a stunned silence. It's Illinois 28, number 1 Ohio State 14. The Buckeyes are in trouble at home, folks. Stick around and see if they can get out of this thing. You're watching ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Best Buy. It's 28-14, and the Illinois cheerleaders have reason to cheer. And the Buckeye fans have reason to make faces like that. 21 unanswered Illini points. They lead by 2 touchdowns with 3:52 left in the third quarter. We welcome Paul McGuire back to the booth. Paulie, did you have a nice trip over there?
Yeah, I got hit with 100 hot dogs.
Here's a kick. Taken at the 10 by Ray Small. And he's level as he got to about the 24-yard line. Well, Jimmy Johnson won last week in his battle with Jeff Gordon, and now he's the man in front. They take the chase to the desert tomorrow to Phoenix. The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series coverage starts 3 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown.
How come every time we do a NASCAR commercial, you get a southern accent for some reason?
I'm not half as bad as Grease.
No, I'm not about Greasy. That's what I'm looking at. He comes up with a southern accent.
Yeah, he's always talking about sweet tea. First down at the 24. Both of the Ohio State touchdown drives have started from the 24. Beckman, he's going to take off on first down, and he's got a whole bunch of room. Todd Beckman cuts back to the middle. He's all the way to the 41-yard line. There's a career-long run.
Don't get too fancy. Take what you can get and then get down. Everything was covered. He did a great job. Todd Beckman needs to bring this offense back.
Nobody's ever going to be Troy Smith, maybe running the ball, but for 6'5", 245, this guy moves pretty good.
This is his 4th year at Ohio State, his 1st year of playing. And this guy can throw the ball and he can run, but he hasn't had an opportunity to bring the Ohio State Buckeyes back from 2 touchdowns down, 2 touchdowns behind yet.
They haven't done it this year. They haven't had to. Now he comes up throwing on first down. It is complete. Tyler Whaley, sometime fullback, sometime tight end. And Jay Lehman made the stop. Pickup of about 4.
Well, when he was running by the bench, you can hear up here the bench, get down, get down. Well, I'll tell you, he's got heads-up play, Beckman.
Jim Tressel on the sideline, his team with 2:40 left in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Their unblemished record on the line, a chance for a national championship is very much in jeopardy right here this afternoon. Some more action coming up tonight. Talking about unbeaten teams. Mark Mangino's got his Jayhawks unbeaten. Tonight they take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Some of you might see Boston College in Maryland or USC and Cal. Check the local listings for the game in your area. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern right here on ABC.
They have 2 fullbacks in the game now, and Johnson and Whaley.
Deontay Johnson, one of the captains, playing his final game on this field. Nice play fake. Beckman wants the long ball, incomplete. Intended for Corey Nickel, the tight end.
He had him to the inside, and he threw the ball to the outside.
And now it's 4th and 1.
It's a good call. I like the call by Tressel. 3rd and 1, up close, play action fake right at you. See, he threw it to the outside. He kind of threw it away from the safety that you see coming into your picture right there.
Whaley to fullback, Beanie Wells the tail. 4th and a yard. Ohio State. Wells got the first down and then some. Down to the 29. They'll move the sticks.
It was a free play. The 3rd down play was a free play for Tress because he knew that if he didn't hit it on 4th down, he was going to go for the first down.
So now Ohio State in the final 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter within striking distance at the Illini 29-yard line. 2 tight ends set now. Wells follows his blockers well and got about 5, almost 6.
You know, I was down there in the end zone watching Wells run, and both Wells run. And the thing about these guys, what they really like to do is follow the fullback, because they know that the fullbacks are going to get a block. Whaley was the fullback on that play. He got a block in the hole. Wells just followed him in.
We saw Beanie go for 221 about 3 weeks ago against Michigan State. He's had 3 huge games in a row. He's having to fight for yardage this afternoon and tonight, and he goes again for a first down.
You know, Brad, Beanie right now is playing through a lot of pain. He had some ankle surgery when he was in high school. He got sort of banged up with the ankle against Purdue in early October. Didn't play much the next game, but, you know, those 3 games after, he averaged more than 170 yards. You see him limping. I've seen him limping after every play, and you know he's just gutting it out because he knows what's at stake for this Ohio State team.
And Maurice Wells, remember, was banged up earlier, so now it's Beanie, and here he goes. Wells, touchdown! Saved his best run of the day for the final run of that drive. Touchdown, Buckeyes, and Pretorius in for the point after. A 76-yard drive in 8 plays. And this is the capper.
He really lived pretty well going in that hole, didn't he? I'm going to tell you what. You know, you would never know that he's got a bum leg. Look at this guy. I would tell you, his knees are up around his gut, and he is moving it.
Whaley 42 and Raring 71. Both get around. Look at number 42, the fullback. Last year he was a center, number 42. This year he's a fullback.
He stood up Brett Miller, and that was one that sprung Beanie Wells for another touchdown. Second of the day, 12th of the year on the ground. And now the Buckeye faithful is starting to warm up here as we're just short of the fourth quarter. 76-yard drives on all 3 touchdowns. I told you they love the 24-yard line to start things.
Well, if they have to punt to him, go run back to the 24.
Run to the 24, take a knee.
We just had the number 1 team in the nation down by 14 points at home in the third quarter, and they came back.
Great kick, 3 yards deep. And Willis will take a knee, and Illinois will start at the 20 after we check in with Matt Weiner, New York. Matt?
Hi, Grant, it's a Verizon Wireless update as the Sun Devils and Bruins pinball back and forth in Pasadena. Arizona State scored on a 70-yard touchdown run by Keegan Herring. Matt Slater returned the kickoff 89 yards the other way. 21 points in less than 3 minutes time, 24-20 there. Auburn and Georgia tied up between the hedges early in the third.
Here it's a 1-touchdown game again. And the Buckeye fans making noise at the shoe for their defense. Williams, the option pitch. Mendenhall. And he got about 5 tough ones. Laurinaitis got over there to make the hit.
If you're Illinois offensively, you keep on doing what you've been doing. Mike Loxley, the offensive coordinator, has done a great job. He's been known as a great recruiter, both he and Ron Zook, but he's done a great job calling the plays here this afternoon.
Final seconds of the third quarter. 28-21 Illinois. Can Ron Zook's Illini pull a stunner in Columbus? They've got a touchdown lead over the top-ranked team in the country. The season for Ohio State with national championship hopes hinges on the next 15 minutes. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Columbus. College football lives here.
The fourth quarter is set to start. 28-21 Illinois. Second down and 4. Williams on the give. Mendenhall. Mendenhall got out for some positive yardage. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein. Well, you want drama in Week 11? We got it.
Number 1 team in the nation, down 2 touchdowns. If Ohio State wins this game, the defense has got to start playing good defense.
You know, we talk about the beginning of the game. They have 3 guys on the Illinois team. They shut down Mendenhall, but they forgot about Juice.
Juice has had a career day. 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. And still, he doesn't have that many passing yards, but he does have 4 all-important touchdowns. And there's an all-important Mendenhall run. Right on cue, Marcus Freeman brings him down, but he's got a first down.
Brad, this is the same style of offense that Illinois has that beat Michigan early in the season. Oregon had a spread. Right. Appalachian State had a spread. This is one of the new offenses that is coming into college football that is giving defensive coordinators fits, get crazy, going crazy, drives them nuts.
Jim Aycock said actually Akron and Kent probably had more of the spread offense than what they saw with Northwestern, which kind of spreads it out and then tries to run the ball. But they got their hands full here. This looks more like an Oregon team the way Illinois is playing. Only about a yard gain on that one as we take a look here in the fourth quarter. 13:40 to go at our Best Buy playbook with Robert Greasy.
Well, you're going to spread them from left to right. The receivers are right down the middle, but the fake in the backfield is what gets the offensive line to give the pass protection. Nobody gets close to him.
We'll go back to that play because Illinois went with the quick huddle and the quick snap.
Yeah, they do that a lot. We can't get anything in here. So.
They know you're trying to do this?
I'm trying to do this, and, you know, I can't get to my play in here.
There's a big third down. 5 straight runs by Illinois. Do they chance one in the air here? 3rd down and 3. Mendenhall to Juice Williams right.
Corner blitz.
Williams in trouble. Flushed out of the pocket. Finds the handle and the run. And he's got a 1st down. Boy, he had to use every ounce of his effort, and he almost dropped the ball, and he got 5 yards on 3rd and 3.
He did, and like I said, from the short side of the field, number 6 here is Grant. He's going to blitz, but somebody from outside. That's Checkwa, number 5, almost tackles him, but Juice is just so big and strong, he just runs away from him.
Comes up, has a word with his center, Ryan McDonald. And now drops back on a 1st and 10. Gives it off to Dufresne, and Dufresne's had a big day out to the 50-yard line. He's over 100 yards rushing. Of course, 80 of it came on one play.
Let me repeat this. Ohio State came into the ball game. Their defense was ranked number 1 in the nation in total defense and number 1 in scoring defense. 3rd against the run and 2nd against the pass. They're just allowing Illinois offensively just to push them all around the field.
I said to Bob at halftime, sometimes it takes a perfect game. So far, that's almost what they've got going here. And Dufresne's got another 1st down. Now he officially went over 100. I jumped the gun. He had 98 before that carry.
Even when an offensive play doesn't look good, they're falling forward and picking up yardage.
Well, I think what you did, though, is you talked about that offensive line, and those are the guys. These guys are really doing a great job.
11 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. Win streaks on the line, a lot more than that on the line. The national championship hopes of Ohio State on the line in the last 11 minutes here. Dufresne got the corner, barely. Marcus Freeman knocked him off his pins. And the natives are getting restless a little bit here.
Well, you know, we said at the beginning of this show, when you talk about Illinois, the one thing that they had to do in this ball game to win it, I thought, was to control the ball and control the clock. And that's exactly what they're doing, especially in this drive.
This is the 94th meeting between these two teams. The last 2 times against a top-ranked Buckeye team, Illinois lost 23-16 in overtime, 17-10 last year. Now they've got the touchdown lead and trying to hold on to it. Williams lost it and incomplete. The receiver and the defensive back got tangled up a little bit back there in the backfield. But you talk about upsets in the top 2. It's happened so many times. Stanford over USC, Kentucky in triple overtime on LSU. Then Cal beaten by Oregon State. South Florida fell after a week being up there. And then Boston College to Florida State. And now here it's number 1 again on the ropes with 10:32 to go. Williams on a 3rd down and long. Flushed, flags down. He completes the pass, but it's going to be a holding call, I'm sure. Flags thrown in the backfield, and there's been almost no penalties today in this game, really, no matter who you're talking about.
Well, yes, this is going to be 4th down and short, and they're not going to let them go with this. They're going to take the penalty. They have to, because 4th and short, you know Illinois is going to go, and with those big backs, they're going to get it.
Holding, offense number 69. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It remains 3rd down.
I don't think we've gone into a 4th quarter this year, guys, when a team has only its first penalty right here.
That was the first penalty.
That first penalty for Illinois.
That tells you discipline. Yep. And I said, you know, this is a well-coached team at the beginning. This is discipline.
They were the 9th most penalized team in the league coming in.
Yeah, well, they fixed that.
Nice U-turn, Paul.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's good. 3rd down and a bunch, 17. Ohio State 3-man rush. Just going to slip it out, see if Mendenhall can do it himself. And he's not going to be able to. Swarmed under by the Buckeye defense. And now the Illini will have to come out and punt it.
I'm impressed with Juice Williams, the quarterback, the way he hasn't turned it over, the way he's taken care of the ball. touchdown passes galore on a defense that's the best in the country. Really played well. He's played well the last couple of weeks. Continues to play well here today and tonight.
Santella's punts. It'll be fielded at the 10 by Hartline. And Hartline got about 7 on the return. So the Buckeyes will take over at their own 17-yard line. They trail by a touchdown. Can Jay Lehman and putting the pain in Champagne's Illinois defense stop them? Stick around. We'll find out together.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
9:23 to play as they tailgate outside the stadium. There's a lot of broken beer cups. Going to be a lot of broken hearts unless the Buckeyes can come from behind a win on their home field today on Senior Day. Out to the 20-yard line on the run is Beanie Wells. We go out to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
Well, Brad, when Nebraska's Joe Gantz made his first start, his team gave up 76. They scored 73 today, which makes him our nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week. 510 yards and 7 touchdowns, both school records. Text VOTE to 87654 on your AT&T wireless telephone to cast your vote.
Joe Gantz, 7 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Not bad. 2nd down and 8. Todd Beckman in trouble, trying to run out of it, and he's got a 1st down and more. Boy, his runs today have been sensational.
Yes, they have.
16 more on that one.
And he needs to keep that in the back of his mind that I may have to do that more. I mean, they're covering everybody. They're rushing the 4 guys, and they're not covering the quarterback. So he may have to do this, and it's okay to do it. Just get down.
You know what he's seeing, Bob? When he sees that back there and he looks in that secondary, those guys are turning and putting their back to the quarterback, and they're running after the receivers. As soon as he sees it, he goes.
Ohio State with all kinds of time, all their timeouts. Beckman to throw on 1st down. Airing it out. Long ball, and it's intercepted at the 24 by Marcus Thomas. Threw into double coverage on the deep ball, and Illinois got it back.
It's the same type of throw that he's made before, and Hartline and Robisky have gone up and made the play. This time, a freshman, Thomas, makes the play in the horseshoe.
Remember, Thomas was in there for Vontae Davis, who was injured earlier, and here's the true freshman making the play Bob's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, he also throws this ball into double coverage. Watch this. Look at the safety. The safety reads it. He gets back to help because he has the inside, and then Marcus Thomas makes the interception. That's great team play.
Illinois, even though they didn't score on their last drive, chewed up 5 minutes. They'd like to chew up about 8:09 right here.
Robisky has got to at least come back to that ball and make sure that the defensive back doesn't intercept it.
Illinois from the 24. Mendenhall got maybe 3. Vernon Golston made the stop, and the clock is going to work its way under 8 minutes, and we'll remind you that time permitting, after the game, John Craig and Doug will be in New York and bring you the Dell postgame report with all the scores and highlights of the day. Will it be an upset day for number 1? We're about ready to find out here in Columbus.
This Ohio State defense has got to make something happen. Got to get a turnover.
The Illini 2nd down and 7 from just inside their own 27.
Here they come.
Williams throws, completes, and it's out to Hudson, about a yard shy of the 1st down. You've got to go back 6 years. The last time the Illini pulled off the win over Ohio State, it was Kurt Kittner who had a big day, going long, finding his man, and then the interception sealed the deal. 34-22 was the final the last time they beat Ohio State. Last win versus a ranked team, I was in diapers. And no gain on that play. Might be just inches shy, it appears, of the 1st down.
That ball has to get over the 34-yard line. Now, the question is now, where do they mark that thing?
I think it's a hair short, but
they marked it right on it? Okay.
They might have to bring the sticks out for this one. And that's exactly what we'll have. So the most important measurement of the day is at hand.
he does make it, it's only, he didn't, but it was going to say by the nose of the ball. Look at this. Now what do you do?
Oh, boy.
Okay, Grease, you're the court. Hey, I'm throwing it in your court.
You punt it. They don't do that.
Come on.
Illinois has had 13 third down situations, and 8 of them have been 3rd and 4 or less. That just tells you that they're always falling forward. They're not in any 3rd and long situations, which I don't like, and the quarterbacks don't like.
Well, they're going to call a timeout, I think, to talk things over. Right now, they've got about 16 tight ends and 14 tackles on the field, as though they're going to go for it on 4th down and an inch.
Well, Ness, you've got a quarterback that's the 2nd leading rusher on this football team. Now, here's a guy that's thrown 4 touchdowns today to 4 different people. And I know he wants to go, and everybody on Illinois' team wants to go, except the guy that calls the play, and that's the big guy.
So now Santella will get set to punt it away.
Ohio State had to call timeout.
We thought we had a timeout before. We know we got a timeout now.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. This holiday will help you put together perfect gifts. Allstate, proud sponsors of college football. Are you in good hands? Dodge, live life to the fullest. Dodge, grab life. And DLP HD TV. DLP is the official ESPN on ABC HD telecast sponsor of college football.
Since 1925, that's what they've been playing for in this one. The Illybuck Trophy started off with a real turtle in 25. That poor guy only lasted till 27, and then they went to the wood model.
Somebody had turtle soup.
Illinois
4th down.
has got their offense back out there.
4th down and about 2 inches. Play of the day, Juice Williams. He's got it. 1st down, 2nd time. Ron Zook has gone on 4th down today, and he's got them both.
I said, we didn't know that he was going to do that, but I said you got your quarterback is your 2nd leading rusher on your football team, and put it in his hands. I mean, he's done everything that he needs to do to win this ball game today.
Well, wait. Ron Zook's just a good recruiter. I mean, he can't coach. He's just a good recruiter.
And for you folks just joining us, that's just sarcasm dripping off Mr. Greasy.
He has done a great job turning this Illinois program around.
1st down for the Illini at the 35. Mendenhall trying to spin his way outside. Got about 2. Laurinaitis makes his 10th tackle of the ball game. But the clock now is in Illinois' favor. It's going to be under 6 minutes when they snap it again. Our Pacific Life game summary, and what a game on this November Saturday it's been. Juice Williams, career high 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers of all things. And Todd Beckman, 3 interceptions today. He hadn't made many mistakes all year, but he's made a couple crucial ones this afternoon. Dufresne comes up to Juice to get the snap count on a 2nd down and 8. Under center, Juice Williams. He hadn't been there much today. And Dufresne goes down in a heap.
Did you say 4 touchdown passes for Juice?
4.
This was a Illinois offense that came in today, ranked 6th in the nation in rushing and 113th in passing. They only had 9 touchdown passes on the year.
He's only thrown 8.
And they've thrown 4 today.
He's thrown 4. He's thrown 8 totally.
Against the best defense in the country.
Yeah, and that's the most important part. He's only like a 56% passer. And Ohio State did exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted Mendenhall out of the game, and they took him out, basically.
Martin O'Donnell is the guy, the left guard, the big senior, that is shaken up on the play. So our ESPNU All-State standings reveal Ohio State trailing right now with 5:24 to go. If they lose, they certainly won't be number 1. And their hopes for a national championship game, the New Orleans, will go by the boards. They can still play and will still play Michigan next Saturday in Ann Arbor on ABC for a trip to the Rose Bowl. But will it be bigger things or not? That's what we're going to find out here in the next few minutes.
They need to win this to stay in the big picture. But this has nothing to do with the Big Ten, because whoever wins the game next week at Michigan is going to win the Big Ten.
And I think when you take a look at Oregon and LSU, the way everybody's been talking about those 2 teams, they just move right up. LSU goes to 1, Oregon goes to 2.
You remember last year and years past, as long as there's games to be played, teams lose.
Ohio State has got to have this third down stop because we're down to 5 minutes to go in the game. Juice Williams keeps it on the option, and he's got a first down. Oh, boy, and you can see the reaction of Jim Tressel. He knew they needed that stop right there. First down run out to midfield.
Well, I remember something about 5 weeks ago. A guy by the name of number 12 by the name of Greasy said there will be no undefeated teams at the end of this year.
It's the left tackle Fulton that pulls around and makes a key block.
Third time, fellas, that Juice has run for a first down on third down in this half. Now they stand him up after he got maybe to the 48-yard line, and they rough him up as Laurinaitis and Coleman take him down again.
You know, we gave Juice Williams his numbers as a passer, but as a rusher going into this game, 558 yards, a 5-point average, and the guy scored 5 rushing touchdowns going in.
I don't know if I've ever seen a game where a guy only had 134 yards passing, but 4 of which went for touchdowns.
Could he be the player of the week?
Call Matt Weiner. Matt,
hey,
Paul's
Matt.
going to talk to you.
Yeah, watch this guy for a while.
Second down and 9 at the Ohio State 49. Williams gives off Dufresne, and he's just looking for a place to land. He is going to lose a yard. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John.
Sports Center Minute powered by Vizio. You have to go back to 1959, the last time both Ohio State and Michigan lost going into the big game. Michigan has already lost. You saw Zach Brown for Wisconsin. Mississippi State beats Alabama, so they're now bowl eligible. Anthony Johnson, 100 yards on this interception return for a touchdown. But the Buckeyes, as you know, to join Michigan with losing. First time since 1959 heading into the big contest.
Well, this is the 18th time that Illinois has met a #1 team. And the last 7 times they met a #1 team, it's the guys you're looking at, the Buckeyes of Ohio State. They're only 3-14 over those previous 17 times against a #1. And right now, the fourth quarter is what they're hoping to ice away the last 3.5 minutes of, because they've had it most of this quarter. They just haven't scored, but they haven't needed to.
Well, Ohio State has only had it for 3 plays and a little over a minute in this fourth quarter.
Third down and 10, Illinois. Seems like Juice Williams has come up with a play just about every time they've had a big third down in the second half. He'd have to get all of this one. And has to get it to the 40 of Ohio State for a first down. He's going to run the quarterback draw. Juice Williams, and he's got another one.
Another first down, a big, huge play.
This was a run all the way. This was not a pass play. This is one of those guys that you really know right off the bat. Watch Isaiah Williams. Watch him run. He boom, back. It's a quarterback like a draw play. That middle opens up. Look at the blocking and the hole in the middle of the field.
It's just good. Yeah, it's good play calling offensively. And the offensive line box the best players in the country, being Laurinaitis.
Now Mendenhall. And Mendenhall takes it down to the 33. And we are under 3 minutes to go in Columbus. If you just joined us, Illinois 28, #1 Ohio State 21. The chance for a perfect season, the chance for a national championship shot for Ohio State for the 2nd straight year is in serious jeopardy at the Horseshoe in Columbus.
Sorry, Nesbitt, this is another one of those over 5-minute drives again. You were talking about when they got it at 8:08.
Second down and 4. Time is the Illini ally right now. Williams keeps it. And he is near the 30-yard line as we're down to 2:20. We've had great aerial shots of our game today, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1. Be sure to look for the Outback Steakhouse Airships at the Outback Bowl on ESPN on January 1st. We got a timeout. 2:19 to go to maybe one of the big upsets again of this year. Stick around and find out. Remember, Ohio State now is out of timeouts. They've got to have this stop. 3rd down and 3. But it's been Juice Williams on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 10, and this drive that's picked up first downs. He's going to try to do it again. He's done it again. That might be the capper. He got 3 yards on 3rd and 2.
Remember beginning of this game, Grace was saying about how these guys lunge forward? Well, he just lunged forward, Juice Williams did, for the first down. Watch these guys all block. They all block down. Juice goes right up the middle. Look at him lean and go for the first down and get it.
Now he wants to use all of that play clock. It's under 2 minutes to play. Down to 7, 6, 5 on the play clock. And that's Mendenhall. He's going to be dropped in his tracks by Cameron Hayward. Remember, Ohio State, remember the 4th and 1 situation where there was some decision by Illinois whether they were going to punt or not, and when they finally came out, Ohio State said, wait a minute, we don't have the right alignment, and they took a timeout. They'd like to have that timeout back because they're out of them.
Ron Zook has made all the right calls, and Juice Williams has become of age here today.
The juice is matured like a fine wine right in front of our eyes. A 7-minute drive right here. He's under center. And again, there'll be no gain. But the clock is going to work its way under a minute. There was the 4th down play. They went for it, and he got it. And it kept the drive alive that's now gone over 7 minutes. They're in their prevent offense now. They're thinking take a knee and head to Champaign, and I imagine they're going to be popping some champagne, and Champaign-Urbana coming up tonight. 16th play of this drive in the final half minute. And the #1 ranking and Ohio State's chances for a 2nd straight game to play for a national crown is going to go by the boards on their home field, where they had won 28 straight, 18 in a row on this field, 20 straight games in Big Ten play. And Illinois ran off the last 8 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock, and they've upset the #1 Buckeyes. The Illini win it over Ohio State 28-21 at the Horseshoe in Columbus. And now we got some ill feelings going on at midfield. That's not the way you want to end a great, great Big Ten football game. Unfortunately, that's what we have. It was a red-letter day for Ron Zook's Fighting Illini, who go to 8-3 and sole possession of 3rd place in the conference at 5-2. And Ohio State drops its first game of the year. They go to 10-1 and 6-1, and still they'll play in Ann Arbor next week for a trip to the Rose Bowl. But the national championship, that shot is gone. They didn't bring a lot of fans from Champaign, but they've got some happy ones right now down in the end zone. 28-21. And let's go down to Bonnie.
Coach Zook, congratulations. You know, when your team lost 40-2 2 years ago, you told your team in the locker room after the game it was going to be much different 2 years later. Why was that the case today?
Because our guys believed, they hung in there, and you know, we said it was going to be different when we came back here in 2 years, and you know, that's a great football team. It really is, and you know, for our guys to come in and be able to do what we did, I mean, it's a tribute to our team, and take nothing away from them. That is a good football team.
I get the sense you're kind of emotional right now.
Well, we've come a long way. We really have. We've come a long way, and I'm so proud of our players because they bought into what we said we had to do, and they've done it. And our fans, I'm so happy for the Illini Nation. I mean, these people have kind of taken us in. It's really, it's a neat thing. It really is.
Look back at last year's games, Ron. Juice really struggled. You benched him for a time. What was the difference between last year and this year that enabled him to have a career day?
Well, I mean, he's only a sophomore, and you know, he was a freshman and last year, and I mean, he's going to get better. He'll be better as a junior than, you know, and he'll be better as a senior. So, you know, I think players, you know, they get better. You know, they're going to be better players as juniors and seniors than they are freshmen and sophomores.
I got to ask you, one of the critical downs, the fourth one, there's about 7 minutes left, called a timeout. What was that discussion like about whether you're going to go for it or not?
Coach Tressel called the timeout. I was going to punt it, and Juice came up to me, and he grabbed me, and you know what? You got to believe your players. You got to believe in them, and we do believe in them. And he said, Coach, I will get it. And I said, you better get it, and he did. So.
Well, your defense got it done, too. How about some of those big plays and how critical they were?
Defense is, you know, there's the players, the coaches, but the defense has played well all year and just continues to get better. And, you know, we just got to, you know, we got one more game here and kind of got to go back and get our feet back on the ground and get the last one.
All right, I'm going to ask you to step aside for your quarterback right there. Juice, step on in here, would you?
I told him 2 years ago I was getting on the airplane, and he called me. And I told him in 2 years it was going to be different.
Yes, you did. Thanks, Coach.
Good job, man.
You look like you're about to lose it, my friend.
Yeah, no, first I was just start by saying thank God, you know, he allowed all this to happen. He's been a blessing in this team's life. He's been a blessing in my family's life, you know, and all glory be to God.
You just upset the #1 team in the land, the #1 defense in the country. What was going on with your offense that enabled you to spread the ball around as well as you did today? 4 different guys.
Well, you know, we try not to look at statistics and rankings and things like that. We just go out there and just try to play and execute the offense no matter what the team is, no matter what color they wear, anything like that. You know, Ohio State's a great team, a phenomenal team. Sometimes I even lost sleep just thinking about Laurinaitis and the hit last season. But, I mean, those guys did a great job coming out here, but I want to take my hats off to the offensive line, the running backs, the receiver. They made all this happen for me.
What was it like for you to stand on the sideline and watch the defense make some of those huge picks that they did?
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to see, seeing those guys getting on and off the field. And, I mean, I did none of this, you know. I take my hat off to each and every one of my teammates.
Coach Zook said coming out at halftime, he said, you guys feel like this is your year, and this was the national stage to show it. What did the country learn about your team tonight they didn't know before kickoff?
Well, now we can pass the ball a little bit. You know, a lot of guys say we one-dimensional. I mean, accurate. I mean, there's still room for improvement. There's still things I need to improve on, but this team is starting to be able to pass the ball. We've been running the ball well all season, and, I mean, just keep moving forward from here.
Juice, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Guys?
Well, today, it wasn't Juice on the rocks, it was Juice straight up. And he's our Chevrolet player of the game for the Illini. And Beanie Wells for the Ohio State Buckeyes. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. What a show. You get up tomorrow morning and you go out to get your Sunday paper. You were hoping it was Ohio State win, and it might say something like this: perfect, no more. Now it's 10-1 and it's 6-1, but the Rose Bowl is still at hand next week in Ann Arbor on ABC at noon. The key play of the game. Here it was, Juice Williams, career high, 4 touchdowns. This one to the end zone that gave him the lead, that gave him the win. 28-21, the upset. For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, Brad Nessler saying so long from a stunned Columbus, Ohio, as we head to New York with John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie. Fellas.
Thanks a lot. This is the 9th time this season a top 5 team's lost to an unranked team. That is a record. So why should we be surprised that Ohio State loses to Illinois?
Well, you know, what's ranked and unranked anymore, right? I mean, you really, there's on any given Saturday, we've known all season, this was crazy. And right now, this is either a nightmare or a dream come true, depending on where you side of the fence that you jump on with the BCS deal. But I really believe right now that you've got Oregon as the top team in the country. Now, as the #1 team, in my mind, they're #2 in the country behind Ohio State. Now I put Oregon at #1. The scramble is going to be which of all of these teams with one loss deserves to be playing for the national championship. The undefeated team out there, Saunders, is Kansas. So Kansas, in my mind, has the ultimate driver's seat. Just went out and they got a shot at it.
Kansas has the opportunity. Oklahoma State tonight, down the road. Missouri, potentially Oklahoma. This also opens up an opportunity for Oklahoma. If they were to go on to win the Big 12, their hat's going to be thrown in that mix getting through their schedule. But right now, Kansas is the team that if they go undefeated, run the table, they're going to be there.
All right. You talked about Oregon being #2 in the poll. You're talking about the AP poll because they're certainly not #2 in the BCS standings. That would go to LSU right now. and the LSU Tigers at 8-1. If you look at the separation between LSU, Oregon, and Kansas, Kansas has some work to do to get up there. There's strong victories. There's 9 one-loss teams remaining because UConn's going to lose today. They're getting beat up pretty bad. That leaves Hawaii and Kansas left. Kansas that's a lot of ground to make up, but because of the schedule,
that's right. They got a chance. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why you say if they just win, Kansas will be the team that plays in the national championship game. That's the deal. You can put that down on the table and go with it. Now, all of those one-loss teams, that's where the debate becomes really heated up. And that's what I'm saying. It's either a nightmare or a dream come true. You know, some people say this is a nightmare for the VCS. There are a lot of fans that are going to wake up, like Nessler just said, tomorrow morning, who the heck is playing for the national championship?
When Kansas, if or when Kansas were to lose, now how many one-loss teams? 1 out of the Big 12. Oregon, LSU, West Virginia can throw their hat in the ring saying we should move up. There's, you know, that when Kansas, if and when Kansas were to lose, it even mixes it up
and
more.
Strength of schedules really changes week to week, right? Michigan gets beat today, so that really hurts Oregon. You know, Oregon had them on the schedule, and it was really, all of a sudden, it was looking good. Now they lose. So you don't know what's really going to happen until it all shakes out.
And we should also, again, remind everybody, it's when you lose right now as well. If Ohio State had lost this game earlier on in the season, they still may very much be in the hunt. And the same stands for Kansas. That's why they have so much at stake right now, because it's late in the year. They cannot afford that loss.
Exactly. It's a late in the year loss. And really, Ohio State's only a one-loss team right now. So why aren't they still in the mix with everyone else? And if they were to beat Michigan, go to the Rose Bowl now rather than the national championship game.
You know why they don't have a chance, Ohio State, with one loss. They lost late, and they've only got one more game to make up with, and they do not have a Big Ten championship game. So again, not having a conference championship game hurts them there. You know, the Rose Bowl wins. The Rose Bowl likes to have a Big Ten team in their game out there. So the Rose Bowl wins today, believe that or not, with an Ohio State loss.
We could be looking at another season with a split national championship. I think there's a little question about that, especially if, as Bob Greasy said, we wind up with no unbeaten teams. And that's clearly a possibility. Kansas could lose tonight to Oklahoma State.
I think you are far safer to make the assumption that Kansas gets beat and that we have a whole pot full of once-beaten teams than you are to think Kansas goes undefeated. Ohio State's a good team. You know, I didn't think they'd get beat. You know, I thought maybe Michigan, but Kansas certainly has the bullseye on their chest now for sure.
What's that do for piggyback? If you get all these one-loss teams, that's going to stir that pot again.
Again, one-loss teams, there would be 10 if Kansas would to lose. Hawaii would be the last one left, and Hawaii is not going to be involved in this mix at all.
No, they're not.
No, this is, as you say, paradise or a complete mess, depending on which side of the fence you're standing on. Right now, we have time for bonus coverage, a good one in the Pac-10. UCLA facing once beaten Arizona State.